Thank you for joining me for another episode of Beyond Business Podcast right here on Beyond Business YouTube channel. This episode is brought to you by Aerial Elite Solutions. When it comes to drone technology, nobody does it better. From solar inspection to construction monitoring to live event coverage and real estate showcasing, AES brings the sky to your side with unmatched quality, precision, and speed. Reach out to flyaes.com to elevate your business today. Midwest Lightning Rods. For over 9 decades, they've been protecting homes, farms, and businesses from one of nature's most destructive forces. When lightning strikes, they make sure you're covered the right way, the safe way. Contact MLR today at lightningstrikes-weprotect.com to see how you can become part of the community protected by MLR. Support local, trust the best. Aerial Elite Solutions and Midwest Lightning Rods. Excellence from the ground to the sky. Now let's jump into today's sit down with potentially the future Macon County Sheriff, Mr. Shane Beck.
Welcome to Beyond Business, where stories come alive. With guests from every corner, we're ready to dive. New episode every 5 days, new voices to share. Laughs and insights, we're all in this affair. Beyond Business, come take a seat. Join the conversation, it's a journey that's sweet. Life lessons learned and laughter from the heart. With every episode, we're making a start.
Hey, welcome to another episode of Beyond Business. Joining me today is someone that we just touched base recently, but this is probably one of the interviews I'm looking forward to the most because I don't know the guy at all. And we're going to get to know him together. This is potentially our future Macon County Sheriff, is Mr. Shane Beck. Thanks for joining me, man.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate you having me on.
Yeah, I had to do that part so the editor knows when this thing starts.
Sure, I understand.
So we were rambling a little bit there, or not rambling, but you were going into, so what's really interesting to me is that, how old are you, Shane?
I'm 52 years old.
And you are running for Macon County Sheriff, and you have been in law enforcement for
10 years.
10 years.
Yeah.
So did you grow up here?
Yeah, I grew up over towards Nina-Carristown area. Yeah.
All right. You went to school around here, all that.
Yeah.
And so your job, when you got out of high school, did you go straight to work or did you go to college at all?
I went to Richland for my basic gen eds.
Yep.
And then during that time period, I went to work for Mark Allen at Speed Loop.
And that was your career for 20 years, right?
A little over 20 years.
Yeah. Which I from what I know of Mark, he's a great guy, runs a great thing.
He's probably one of the best guys I've ever met.
Yeah. So that's cool. So it goes, and you kind of just got into this, but I want to touch it, is you go, most people, once you get 20 years in, even if you hate your job, that's your job.
Mm-hmm.
So you had an opportunity to go to Milliken for business classes or whatever you had going. And I want you to retell what you just said about how, I guess maybe there's testing that aligns you with what career path you should be in. And Mark sent you to go to make you better at this, and everything you're seeing is telling you you're in the wrong career.
Yeah. I basically, through the years, I started out as just a regular pit man. I worked my way up through the company.
Sure.
Mark kind of took me under his wing early in my career. He could tell that I was a worker, and he would come pick me up a couple hours before the end of shift, and I'd go to his house.
Yeah.
We would work all night. Like, his backyard used to be full of trees. Now it's got a perfect patio with a nice pool and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he's put a lot of money into his residence. So
he's made some money over the years.
He's done well for himself, but he's put a lot into his guys and a lot into his business, Yeah. And he's suffered some
red roofs,
family consequences, to put that effort in.
Sure.
So, I mean, he's paid some prices to have what he has.
Yeah. And so you were kind of there to see, I mean, if you were there for 20 years and you've been out for 12, so you were there when he was getting going.
Yeah. He was just starting to venture out into
a store or
Champaign,
two, maybe?
Bloomington. Like, we had 8 stores when I started.
Okay.
When I left, we had 16 and a service center.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and then he started to get in. Right when I was leaving is when he got into the Lindy Lou Pizza and the Lulu's Gaming and stuff like that.
Which You know how I met him was maybe 10 years ago, sitting maybe at Sliders, just sitting at the bar, I think wing night or something like that. And I'm just chatting with some couple that's sitting next to me, and they were really cool.
Mm-hmm.
And what did it be 10 years? I don't know, but the gambling shit was just starting to crack.
Right.
And I think the place is named after his wife.
Yes.
And she was there, and he were kind of telling me that. And then that's when he kind of was like, yeah, I don't think he even told me. I think his wife was like, well, here's what we do.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, you're a really humble guy for having some big, you know what I mean? Because that's impressive to me. I'm a business owner. And I mean, to have something like he's got,
he's kind of one of them guys where, I mean, he wears a t-shirt and blue jeans all days.
Gotta love it,
he'll
man.
have a flannel on probably today because he's probably chilly.
For real. Yeah.
But I mean, we've been on job sites when we're building stores and people come up and ask him if he wants a drink of water. He's like, I own this place.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, I'll be all right.
He's just a super dude.
That's great.
He's a human being.
Yeah.
He taught me very good skills about being a human being, how to treat people, you know, all through my career, whether it was employees, whether it was some of the guys that we might use for advertising.
Okay.
But what ended up happening is, you know, basically towards the end of my career there, the president of the company and myself were having some issues, you know, seeing eye to eye on certain things. He's a great guy. We get along better now than we ever have.
Sure.
But Mark put us through some counseling, you know, and
to make you guys
to try to make us mesh. And
you guys are going to couples therapy.
Yeah, pretty much. And
that's a good idea, actually.
And we were, you know, I mean, he was leaving him and I in charge of his $12+ million operation while he's out doing, you know, real estate transactions. He's wanting to get involved in Maui, and he had bought a home out in Colorado, and he was wanting to do higher risk flips.
Right.
You know,
and he had two people that were perfully capable if they could figure out how to be capable.
Yeah.
Right?
Carl had grown up in his neighborhood. He'd known him his whole life, so he trusted Carl.
Sure.
Myself, I basically started with him at 18 and learned every single thing I could about the company.
So you were a kid.
Yes.
That's great.
And I'm around all these crazy people. So I always tell Mark, I'm like, man, you're the reason that I got wild.
Yeah, right.
Because you put me around all these crazy guys.
Yeah, I was fine until I met you.
Yeah.
Right.
But part of our training or part of our therapy sessions or group couple sessions, basically.
That's great, though.
We went to the Finn group up in Forsyth. And we would take psychological test after test after test, and it'd just be all the fill in the circle test. And every time we would get results, they'd say, well, your perfect field would be military, sergeant, or you would be a law enforcement agent. And I was like, you know, I've always wanted to be a cop, but I'm like,
had you?
Oh yeah. I mean,
but you're like, I'm not. So.
Right. I always grew up respecting fire, law enforcement, you know, first responders. But with the opportunity that I had with Mark, you know, I was making $60,000, $70,000 by the time I was 20 years old. And back then, that was some big money.
Hell yeah.
And my dad retired from Caterpillar, and I don't think he made over that before his retirement.
You were making money.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, and I wasn't hurting for anything. You know, I had a company car, I had a gas card, a phone, trips to Maui.
Hell yeah.
The guy was taking care of his guys.
That would be hard to.
It was
even if you and Carl needed to break up, that'd be hard to do.
The hardest thing I ever did, but like I say, after learning that, you know, I started thinking even more about, you know, one of the main things that I was having an issue with is we were going through a recession type period. You know, oil was very volatile because of overseas things that were going on, trading, and we had a few conflicts going on overseas. So
time frame me here.
It would have been 2012, 13-ish.
Okay. Yep.
And, you know, basically we would get an email from Pennzoil saying, you know, oil prices are going up, you know, so that directly inflected
But trickle down is immediate.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh.
It was, we would every 5 years, we'd go make just an agreement with Pennzoil to be heavily, you know, compensated to sponsor their product.
Sure.
So basically, you know, we knew we had to make adjustments immediately. So we didn't get behind the ball, you know, on our profitability. So we was constantly changing prices, which that also comes into effect where now you're not going to have the money there to pay the guys extra money and give raises. So now I got to deal with, you know, 70 to 100 employees now that aren't going to get a raise that they thought they would get. So now I got to keep these guys happy somehow.
And you also don't agree with the fact that you can't give them a raise. You think it sucks, but but you also see how it works.
And I grew up through the ranks like they were. So I mean, I've seen
the appreciation for another buck is huge.
Yeah. And then, the one thing I will also say about Mark Allen is growing up working for him, that guy drove the same car for years. I mean, he was not the guy that had the newest Mustang, the newest Corvette. And it's like he was very humble, and I mean, like I say, he was very concerned about making his business where he wanted it to be, and he did a very good job doing it. And he kept his good guys, and that's what I think strong about any business.
I think that's
keeping your good health.
Yeah, and I think that's probably, I mean, your description of how he is and how he treats people that's exactly why he's successful.
Yes.
I mean, I believe that. You know what I mean? If you can be an asshole, it's not going to go for long.
No,
your popularity will fade.
Snap the whip.
Sure. But that's different than treating people like shit.
Exactly. And there's ways of doing things in a disciplinary nature where it doesn't have to be disrespectful.
Right. I think there comes a point where, I mean, I deal in you could kick that dog if
he's a good dog.
But I think I work in the trades. I pull people off electrical union benches a lot, and I think. I don't know if it's just, I would say it's just being fucking grown as you go, I know if I messed up, you know what I mean? And I know if I have it coming and I can accept it as long as you deliver it properly.
Sure.
So.
I think a lot of it is consistency, and you got to treat everybody the same.
Yeah.
You have to.
For sure.
You got policies and procedures for a reason, and basically let people hang themselves.
Yes.
But you have to be consistent in how you administer that discipline, and there's nothing wrong with saying, listen, you're a great employee. I don't want this to continue. I know you don't want to be in this room any more than I want you to be in this room.
Right.
But, this is what we need to move forward. This is what it's going to take to keep you clean and keep you employed here.
Right.
So basically it takes the burden off of your shoulders as a boss. If it continues,
well, you're going, hey,
where you
I'm just following the thing that we all see.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You just got to be 100% honest with the person, and you got to be human.
Yeah. Well, so, and I didn't even want to have to chat about your previous job so much, but I think the important thing is that was awesome that you got to go to the PACE program when it kicked off, got a college education, which if you used it and needed it, that's great. I don't know if I'm an advocate for, I don't know how I feel about college, but if you need it, then that was perfect, right? Your situation
the trades
was perfect.
Have stepped up huge compared to back when I was younger.
Right. Well, but I think what you learned and most people, again, just say I'm stuck, even if I kind of don't like the person I'm working with. I've been here 20 years, but you learned how to work with, manage people.
And motivate.
It's very hard.
It's difficult.
I mean, different personality, especially when you don't, not 5, not 10, but
up to 100.
100. That's a lot of.
And one thing that he did teach me, which, I learned basic skill sets of it at Milliken, but he taught me how to monitor the environment of the workplace, and one thing he always would tell me, I was the HR guy. I was the guy that took care of all customer complaints and concerns. I would go to court for us.
Yeah.
Took care of all of our advertising.
Yeah.
I had a lot of line items on the balance sheet that I took care of myself.
Oh, you were doing the stuff that no one thinks about.
Right. And Mark would sit down with us monthly, and we would go over the P&L statement, and we would be like, I was responsible for my areas.
Right.
And I would have to have an understanding, and I would have to explain why it was up or down. If it was down or up, whichever negative it would be at that time is, what am I going to do to make it right?
What changes need to happen?
He needed to know that I already had it on my radar and that I was going to make some changes.
That's awesome.
And, but to the other aspect, it's like, he would be like, if you see something that's not right with an employee, that's something that's out of character, he would be like, let's take that guy to lunch, take the company credit card, take that guy to breakfast, or take him to lunch. Let's get in his head and let's see what's going on with him. Is it a home issue? Do they have a child issue? Is he getting dependent on drugs? What's going on in this guy's life?
Life could be happening.
Things to be different. And if it's something we can fix, he was the guy that would be like, call me any time of the day. And he was in Maui a lot.
Yeah.
Because that's where most of his ventures were.
Sure.
He's like, I don't care what time of day it is. If it's something we can fix and get behind, me and you and Carl, let's get it together and let's get this guy straightened up to where we can keep this employee, because he knows the value of keeping those trained guys.
Did you know then when he was doing this and you were kind of learning from him that is not normal at all? I mean, it's great. That's an awesome quality.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But
I kind of
compassion is not normal.
I looked at Mark as a true friend, an employer, and like a second father.
Right.
I knew his entire family.
Right.
I knew most of his friend group.
So you were just like, what a hell of an example. Let's go.
Yeah. And there are times that things, even still today, that trigger, like when I worked with guys, at our department now.
Yeah.
I still have things that he's influenced in me still come out.
Absolutely.
And the way that I make connections with people in the community today, it's just because of how he is. Like, I remember a crazy time, I was washing my truck and my boat, and I tell people that I trained, I tell them things about this because law enforcement officers have a lot of power.
Yeah.
But they also have a lot of discretion.
Sure.
And we set a lot of examples. Some of what we do is going to form and maybe this a person's opinion of law enforcement for the rest of their life.
Right.
So one day, it was a Saturday, I had I started making over $120,000 a year.
Got nice shit now.
Got a nice boat, nice truck.
Hell yeah.
Everybody's getting ready to go party on the lake on a Saturday afternoon, and we're open on Saturdays till 4. And I'm out here shining my boat up. The guys are still working across the street in the shop like I used to do.
Yeah.
And I'm shining this boat up. Well, here comes Mark pulling up in his old Tahoe, getting ready to go make a money.
93.
Go make a money run.
Right.
And he's like, "Hey, you got a minute?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And we walk into the warehouse, close the door, and he's like, "Well, you're not in trouble." And he says, "I just want to bring something to your attention." And I was like, "Okay." And I'm not even thinking, I'm thinking about 2 hours from now when I'm popping a beer and, I'm got girls in bikinis around me and we're in a lake.
He's like, "Hey, dickhead."
He's like, "You see them guys across the street over there?" And I was like, "Yeah." And it just hit me. And I'm like,
"Damn.
I understand. You don't even have to say no more."
And you're like, "That's not what I was doing. I was just preparing for 4.
Yeah. But it made me understand that my personal aspect in life, it still conveys to everybody.
Yeah.
And I guess growing up like that, working through every level, you don't realize when you hit the top sometimes.
For sure.
And it's like,
because it's your normal.
No. And I treat the guys like normal, like one of the things that I learned in school and that I learned that did well for me was I don't cut the guys that manage my shop's feet from out from under them.
Right.
And a lot of what I do, if I go in and I see something, as long as it's not something safety or something that's going to cause damage to a customer's car, I don't come out and talk to that gentleman or lady right there. I go and I take the manager away from the guys, and I'm like, "Here's what I saw." I said, "I want you to fix it."
Right.
I let them do their job, And by building that trust, it gives them stake in the pie, and they feel more comfortable because I didn't belittle them in front of their staff.
Right.
I don't want them coming to me and asking me things. I want them coming to their boss and asking them things.
Right.
So that's what helped me a lot in my career. And I still have so many relationships with these guys. I can go into any of these shops today. They're still calling me boss. They still call me whatever.
Right.
They talk about me all the time to people that I know that go in there.
It's just as even I'm thinking, it's just being in the sheriff's department is comparatively, it is a business. I mean, it is running.
It is a business. Being the sheriff, I feel like it's not about lifelong. It's not lifelong law enforcement career. It's a management job.
Right.
I mean, yes.
I never thought about it like that until we're having the discussion.
Right.
It's managing people.
I feel like my attributes of business and my relationship making and my people skills trump being law enforcement forever type thing, because not only do I have law enforcement knowledge, I have knowledge of how to make these guys motivated. I know what the strong points of a business are and keeping your people there that are trained and well mannered and that are going to take care of our community.
Right.
And it's more about putting the right people in the right places, trusting your help. Not every time do I put somebody in a position, are they going to be the best they can be at it? And maybe it's what they want, but it's not what they're the best at.
Right.
So maybe I have to redo something there. That's what I figure out. I see, okay, well, this is not your cup of tea. First off, can he get there or can she get there? Or do I just need to put them in another role? It doesn't mean I got to axe them. I got to get rid of them. It means I got to adjust.
And anybody, even if they go somewhere that they're not crazy about. If you become good at something, it feels good.
It does.
You know what I mean? If you're
It does.
not successful at your dream, it sucks.
Yeah.
I mean, even if you have it.
But you can't get complacent
For sure.
problems either and forget about where you came from.
For sure.
Because 90% of what I feel like is important with our department is keeping our guys well trained,
Right.
make sure they're safe, make sure they're taking care of our citizens in the community, and development. Like find out what their weak spots are and let's get those niches. Like one thing that I learned in leadership is make your weakest point of the chain the strongest point of your chain. And if that's the case, your leaders have a lot less on their plate because you have more people that'll take effort to make things better because you've put the time into them. They're going to put the time back into you. Less oversight because they're going to work like somebody's watching over them. So
to me, qualification wise, so I know you're running against Jim Root. I don't know how you say it. Root. And I don't know how being a career, and maybe you even would have insight, is I don't know how being a career law enforcement would benefit having a business background, coming to run I feel the same way about presidency and govern, whatever.
Well, I think we're seeing that with Trump.
Right.
Yes.
To where, you know what I mean? It goes, this is, a lot of things are more business than we like to think.
Sure.
You guys are policing the streets. Well, it's a company. There's a bunch of people and there's paychecks and there's a chain of command. So I'm going, this is a no-brainer as far as being a sheriff for 30 years versus 10 years. I don't know that you would know less about the current law. I mean, that, you know what I mean? I think that's kind of it.
We have little bearing on our state law, federal law.
Sure.
I mean, a lot of things that my opponent and I have in common is big politics.
Okay.
We're both big constitutionalists. We want to keep the Constitution in force. We want to keep people with their rights.
Yeah.
That's the last thing that I don't think any law enforcement officer ever wants to take a weapon from somebody.
Right.
I think that concealed carry has been great. I think open carry would be great.
Sure.
I think that it's they're more responsible than you'd ever imagine. They don't want to lose that privilege.
Right.
It's a privilege we once did not have and now we do.
Yes.
And it's not something that somebody just wants to give up.
Right. So you guys go in, how often is this election? Was the last election the one where Chubby won? And then
the last election was Cody Moore.
Oh.
The one before that was the one where I actually I went for my opponent.
Oh.
I voted for him.
Yeah.
I got my entire family behind him. I've got my old boss, Mark Allen,
at the time,
him.
that was...
I basically relied on a lot of guys that worked there, that had the knowledge.
Yeah.
And I took their advice, and they were big proponents for my opponent, and they told me the right things.
So what was the flip, and when was it that you said, I manage businesses, man. This is what I do. So this is perfect. I'm the guy for, like, what was that?
What made me decide?
Yeah. What made you go, hey man, I can't get behind you this time. I got to go against you. Or do you say that? Is there a conversation, or
I basically,
or is it like, hey man, I seen your tweet, bro. What the fuck?
Well, him and Tony had that disputed election.
Yes.
And there was a lot of animosity in the department over that. It was a very strange situation for a couple years.
That count the vote shit. It was like, oh, here we go.
The whole premise of, watch what you do because you're going to get thrown to third shift. Well, he got thrown to third shift.
Oh, that happened.
It did. Oh. So he was my boss directly for 2 straight years. And I couldn't, I'll tell you right now, there's so many things that we saw eye to eye on. And I felt very comfortable with his leadership. I thought it was going to be the way it was going to be.
Sure.
And I felt strong enough in it to where I did go to some of his fundraisers, and put myself on the line as a person and as an employee. Because, Chubby could have turned around and disciplined me and put me on something else, but I was already on third shift. So
you're like, what are you going to do, bro?
Yeah. But, I did believe in that he was going to bring more of a basically a results driven type environment and promotional program. Like if you're out there and you're putting the time in, you're putting the effort in, you're going to get something for it. You're going to get considered, at least. You're going to get a shot.
Yeah.
And shortly, I would say within a year of him taking over after the election was ratified and he was declared the winner, I started seeing things that just because I didn't agree with it doesn't mean that it's right or wrong. The voter is who has to decide what's right and wrong.
Sure.
I'm not going to sit here and say that Jim did anything wrong. I don't think that that's the case. I just think that he's made choices that some things that I may have done different. You
have examples?
Well, certain things were discipline, and I can't get into that, because it involves another employee and it involves actual personnel.
Sure.
But there were some discipline things that came up. There was just the atmosphere itself, and I kind of could see things deteriorating. And we've lost more guys in the last 5 years from resignation than any history of the sheriff department. I went all the way back to Jerry Dawson. I've talked to all the past sheriffs. And I explained to him, hey, we got these guys leaving. And not all of it is because of the atmosphere of our department. There's not a lot of people out there that want to be cops. When I first hired in, we would have a morning and an afternoon training session.
Right.
Or a testing session. Like you do your physical fitness in the morning, you do your written test afterwards.
Right.
And there'd be 40 people there. You'd have 7 to 8 deputies, and you'd have some volunteers there from ML CrossFit. He would be the one that kind of ran the physical fitness thing. Yeah. And you'd be counting laps for guys, counting push or sit-ups, bench press.
Yeah.
And it was a huge deal to make that list. And I mean, it was an accomplishment. Now it's like, we're really fighting more so to try to get laterals because they have some incoming experience. We're offering some bonuses to get that lateral in and offering them a little bit of a step raise, But one thing that we're always going to fight here is that we're a smaller municipality. You got Champaign, you got Bloomington, you got Springfield. They're offering way more money.
And
they're
all
we
right
can.
here.
Yeah, and they're very close. It's not that far of a drive.
Right.
My wife is in education, and she drives to Springfield for work.
I was going to say, most of our work is in Champaign. I wouldn't move there because of that. That's right there.
Yeah. And the thing is it's my whole thing is it's the taxpayer and the person that's going to go to the polls has to make a decision on whether they feel if the last 5.5 some years of my opponent's term, did he do what he said he was going to do?
Okay, so let's assume that I'm going in and I'm going to vote, but I don't really know what are your differences? Where do you guys, what stances are you like, he is this and I'm this, and you guys decide which one is right?
Well, I mean, I
don't have to go through all of them.
I really don't want to, I don't want to talk about what he is and what he's not.
Fair enough.
But I can tell you what I am.
Okay.
I am 100% a people person.
I get that too.
I feel like the way that the place should run, and under my watch it will run, is it should be team-based environment. I want all of my lieutenants and sergeants to help me make decisions when it's possible. If I have to make a decision on the fly, I'll make the decision. I'll live by it.
You don't need a gavel, huh?
No. And I don't mind admitting I'm wrong. I don't mind if somebody else comes up with the right idea. I am perfectly fine with it being one of my upper deputies that comes up with an idea. As long as we bat it around the room and we make the decision that's going to be the best for the guys and gals there today and 40 years from now, then that's the right choice. That's what a sheriff should do.
That is success.
That's
you having a team that
yes.
solves its own problems while you sit back and go,
And it brings them more into the game
for sure.
Where they're going to be more likely to bring up discussion.
Right.
I love having a devil's advocate that's going to check me. I love somebody that's going to make me think outside the box. I've already told people in my neighborhood that live by me, my family, personal friends, and people that I know that will be in my leadership team, don't ever let me be a dick. I don't want to be the dick. I want to be the same person I am today, 10 years from now.
Oh.
I don't care if I'm on duty, off duty. If I've acted out of line,
tell me,
jerk my chain,
check me out.
I
like that.
I've seen it in many business.
It's easy to do.
It is easy.
Again, you saw firsthand someone who could have bought everything that you saw with your own eyes, and he didn't do it.
No.
So is this? I don't know if this is kind of a weird way to put it, but as the head sheriff, right? It's
Mm-hmm.
almost like you can't be so cop.
No.
You know what I mean? You can't, it's like a community leader.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? More
And I
than,
feel we need to be in the community.
yes, agreed.
That's one thing that we've lost over this last
I think it's
reign.
not only probably I'm just going to call it a shit show that's going on there, but it's also the times too.
Mhm.
This is really complicated time. You know, people are a little bit less regarded for the police, and
Yeah, I get so many people like, why did you become a cop? Because I wasn't always an innocent young man.
but
I partied my butt off growing up.
I would say same thing. Like, surely that damn test didn't make you become a police.
No.
I mean, a sheriff. You know what I mean?
I'm just I love people in general and love everybody. It takes something very, very wrong for me not to want to like you. You know, I'm the guy that walks through a parking lot, and if we make eye contact, I'm telling you hi.
So
I'm helping you load your groceries.
you've just been able to not prejudge people.
Yes. I always
It's a
think,
gift, man.
I feel like the way a cop should interact with our community is, and I tell people when I used to train guys, and I would be like, first thing you do is you get yourself and your surroundings safe. Once you're safe, put yourself in that person's shoes.
Mm,
Do unto others as you wish to have done to yourself. You know,
yeah,
treat people like you want to be treated.
yeah.
And think about what has actually happened today? What put this person in our radar today? Why did we make this interaction? You know, are they having problems with family at home? Are they I've raised 3 boys, you know, so I know there's some issues that can happen.
Yeah.
You know, it could be a job crisis. You know, one of the family members may have lost a job and she's speeding down the interstate because she's just thinking about, how am I going to talk to my husband about this? What's our family going to do to pay our next bill?
It's such an odd take, man. That's really impressive.
But you need to think about what my decision is going to do to this person. But you still have to balance consistency with that.
Sure.
You know, because
everyone that's having a bad
tracked.
day don't get a pass.
Yeah,
I mean,
all of our tickets and anything we do is tracked, you know, and it's checked.
Sure.
You know, and we're honestly, you know, we're very scrutinized as law enforcement officers, more so today than ever.
Right.
You know, we have the cameras on our chest.
Right.
So the old days of letting somebody drive home after you find them drunk
aren't
usually there anymore.
Get home.
You know,
Right.
Because if that person leaves and they cause another accident and you
Then
just
it's
had
your
contact with them, I could be civilly liable.
Yeah.
Our department's liable. So you got to be kind of conscious of that. But I still say, think about what you're doing to somebody, and think about what it's going to cost their family, and what is the true win here. Is the true win educating this person on what they did wrong today, you know, opening their eyes to where they have a safer trip home?
Yeah.
Or is it a habitual person that's speeding through town that's causing the skid marks at all of our intersections and everything else?
Right.
You know, what are you truly dealing with?
Yeah.
And how are they treating you? You know? And I've had interactions where I've had females cuss me out up and down the other, and I just go back to my car, I take my breaths, and I don't let the ego get ahead of me.
Right.
I'm like, you know, I'm not going to be that guy.
Yeah.
I told myself, and I tell everybody, I became a cop because I don't like bad cops.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't like people that don't like cops. And I want to be the bridge between the two. You know, I came in before the George Floyd stuff.
Yep.
I came in before all that, you know. So, you know, I felt back then the racism wasn't like it is today. It's grown.
How the hell does it keep coming back? That's when I go. The further
I know that it's never going to go away, and I wish to God it could somehow.
It should.
But it was an ugly time in our lives.
Yeah.
And you know, I had to study it in school.
Yeah.
And I understand it, and I understand where they're coming from, and I understand that there's been times that people have been wronged.
Yeah.
And you know, media has really done a
teaching
number for
hate
us.
is a terrible idea, no matter what. You know what I mean? I think that's.
I tell you, the most important thing about a cop is when you go home and you made a change in somebody's attitude or somebody's life. There's no amount of money that takes that place. That feeling inside of you is like so huge.
Yeah.
And that's what keeps us coming back, because 90% of what we do is help people. We don't always hurt people and take people to jail.
Well, I get it now.
Yeah. Yeah.
As I'm older.
Yeah.
But oddly enough, I've had a fair share of run-in throughout my lifetime. My 2 that stand out pretty much the most are the ones that were great interactions.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I got a couple of years ago, I'm a drone pilot, and I have a RAM mount in my car, and I'm sitting there, and I feel someone right here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm on the interstate, And I look over, it's a trooper, and he just winks at me and slows back and hits his lights. I was like, fuck. I get pulled over. He's like, Aerial Elite Solutions. I go, yeah. He goes, drones? I go, yeah. He goes, well, first of all, I have to give you a ticket. So let's start there.
Oh,
I already called in and told him why I was pulling you over, and there's zero tolerance for being. I go, what makes you think I was on my computer? And it was still sitting right here loaded. And he's like, come on. But anyway, we sat there and, shot the crap for a little while. But I get it. I think that's it, is most people, even if they don't want to be in trouble,
Oh, yeah.
You didn't pull me over because your radar gun was off.
No.
You know what I mean? You didn't. Yeah.
We don't come to work expecting to interact with people. I mean, we come in and we respond to what we have to respond to.
But so what you can't teach, and I don't know if maybe you can, is your personality and take is not. Is there a way you can structure the department or change it to help people to have your take on people? I mean, does that make sense?
Yeah, I think just open communication, you know. And just,
again, as a leader, if you're going, hey, I'm not better than anyone here, and we're not better than anyone there. And
that's exactly right. And everybody, all cops are a little different. You got your gung-ho guys that are wanting to get out there and get the drugs and guns.
Yep.
Everybody's got a niche. That's one thing that I've noticed with the department is everybody has a niche portion of the job. Like some people are really good with DUIs.
Right.
Some people are good at traffic enforcement. Some guys are good with the gang and the gun stuff, and just how they were brought up or how they were trained in the right process. Places. Yeah. So my aspect is, is putting the right guys in leadership roles and monitoring, they've only got to watch over 8 to 9 guys on their shift.
Gotcha.
So that brings it down to where I'm not monitoring 100 to 150 guys. I'm monitoring
10
5 to 6 sergeants, and maybe 4 lieutenants, and keep them, responsible for what they're doing. Yeah.
Yeah, that's really...
but still keep a communication base with my guys, you know, to where they know I've got the open door and an open mind.
Yeah.
And I want an environment where, like, if a guy's got a beef, and it's a true beef that's causing him any kind of issues at work, I want to have a facilitation method to where they can come into my office, know their job's not online. As long as they're not coming in F you, F that, and they're calm about it and they just want to discuss it and get it out there, let's talk. You may not get the answers you want, but it may open my eyes to something that I need to pay attention to.
Right.
I'm not afraid to change, that's one thing you have to do.
Yes.
And
not everyone.
No.
Most people, that's the opposite. If they go, I'm this.
Yeah.
But you said this 5 years ago and you're going, I learned.
Yeah. Yeah.
I learned in 5 years that here's how stuff really works.
Yeah.
Well, I asked if there was a way to, I guess, make your take and personality contagious, because I had a guy who I don't know how he's resigned. I don't know how he's not a police officer anymore, but he was a cop. I think he came from the military. He was military police. Then he came and was a Decatur cop. And he's like, in my mind, I was literally going to help the community. And he goes, shit, 72 hours in. I was like, fuck this. Everyone hates me.
Yeah.
I hate them. And it was like that. And the Napoleon complex, you know what I mean? To where he's like, oh, get that camera out of my face. Oh, it is like.
I think a lot of it is you got to be able to put yourself in their shoes. You got to understand why like if you get the person that's yelling at you, what caused them to be this way, to be towards law enforcement, you know? And I don't judge a book by its cover all the time,
right. Again, that's hard to do.
It is, but it's one of the attributes that we need to have in law enforcement today to make the change that needs to be changed.
Right. You're going, there's no way you hate me because you don't know me.
Right. I'm going to be your first call if you need me.
Right.
But today you're mad because I caught you doing something wrong.
Right. How you want to get through this?
Yeah. Do you want to get through it pleasantly, or do you want to be like this the whole time?
I'll fuck off.
And I've
taken a long time to write this ticket.
And I've had times where, I'll still take them up a warning and be like, listen, this did not have to go this way. And I hope next time it doesn't.
Oh yeah.
It doesn't have to be that way.
Right.
I don't know if you saw that. There was something on Facebook a couple weeks ago, and I forget which location it was at, but it was It was an African female and a white cop, and basically he had pulled her over for a justified traffic stop. She was speeding, and she was having a hard time.
Uh-huh.
And this guy couldn't have done it any better. He was a great cop.
Yeah.
And he walked up there, and I mean, he's like, he ran her and everything else, and he asked her what her issues were, and she even explained that she's had bad interactions with cops in her past. And so he, that if you're not thinking of that, that brings that up front for you. Like, okay, so this person's got a traumatic experience before with law enforcement. So that justifies, where she's coming at a little bit, why she's a little hostile.
Sure.
So at the end of it, he writes her a warning and asks her, "Are you sure there's nothing else you need?" And she started talking about some personal issues that she was going through. He's like, "How about a hug?" And she got out of the car and hugged this cop.
Just changed everything in her brain.
It got so many views.
That's great.
And it just, the things that we need to do is we need to be compassionate to communities.
Humanize.
We need to be human beings, for sure. And these same people that I interact with, I'm going to see them at Walmart. I'm going to see them at the grocery stores other than Walmart. I'm going to see them at the restaurants.
Exactly.
I had a corporal in a jail, and he'd been there probably 26 plus years.
Uh-huh.
And he goes, "Hey, come here a minute." And I walked over there, and he's like, he said, "I've been here a long time." And he said, "You shake more hands of people you put in a jail cell than anybody I've ever seen." And I said, "Man," I said, I'm just giving them a charge."
Right.
I said, and that's how I usually calm most of the people down that I take in. It's like, this is just a charge. Your wife could come in tomorrow and drop her side of this charge. The defense attorney could win your case.
Yeah, you're like, I don't know.
Why should I make an enemy with somebody that I don't need to make an enemy with?
Valid.
There are certain crimes, yes, that there's just no reason to shake a hand because they've just beat a child or they, abused their wife or something. There's some crimes out there that you're not going to shake a hand.
Right.
But if you can still keep a relationship with that person that you're putting in a jail cell, why not do it?
Yeah. Well, I have a buddy of mine that I grew up with, actually, Heath Haddock. He's been in the jail for 20 years. I think I just seen him with his 20 or 25 years. He's been there now as a CO. And that was the same things. Because that's what I go, "You like a dick down there?" And he goes, "If you're a dick, I'll remind you this is not the right place for you to be an asshole." No. He goes, "But same." He goes, "Dude, we shop at the same Walmart."
Yeah.
What am I
tell you, I'm impressed with the way that the guys in the jail do handle themselves.
Yeah,
and,
it's impressive. I mean,
they know how to act when they have to act, but whenever it settles down, they change. And that's 90% of being a cop. You may have to elevate during the middle of a stop.
Yeah.
But by the time that things get settled down, you got to be able to come back down, and you got to be.
Yeah. Well, and that's human. Always my question is, are you ever like, "Man, it would suck to be this person"? He's like,
yeah.
90%.
Yeah.
Except for the ones that are just monsters or whatever. It's like, yeah, it's a bad day turned worse, and let's not make it even worse.
And even those people, something happened in their life to get them that way. I didn't look at drugs the way that I look at drugs now because of my training. I did some work with, when Buffett opened the crossing, I worked at the CRC center there, which it's a recovery center.
Okay.
And, I started seeing the same faces. I started seeing familiar faces back to back. Family that I know, and that I know they love their people, they love their families, and their families love them, but that drugs got a hold of them.
Yeah.
They don't want to come off of it because of the downside of that effect of that drug is so bad. They don't want to be straight.
Right.
They'll go steal. They'll go take from their own family.
Yeah.
So I know it's a true illness. Part of that is our CIT training we go through every year, and we have to understand that it is an illness and that what they're doing isn't that normal. That's not them. That's the drug.
This is true.
And, so that's why you see a lot less of the violent offenses, from cops to the offender.
Yeah. Because
we've been trained to understand that this really isn't the person. This is just the reaction of them being on this type of drug or whatever they're on.
Yeah.
And, you just, like I said before, you got to be human. You have to judge the entire situation.
You say that so lightly.
You have to be safe.
But
you have to be safe.
That is a huge skill. Like you have it clearly, but I mean like.
It's trained into us on a regular basis. The CIT training.
That is protocol.
We have to understand how to, and mental illness too.
Yeah.
We have a lot of mental illness. When we took away the psych wards and all this, that's increased that.
Yeah.
And we deal with a lot of those same suspects on a daily basis. And Heritage has been helping us a great deal by offering a living room that they have now.
Okay.
And, with the CRC closing, that's kind of hurt us a little bit, but the Heritage has kind of stepped up.
What's up with that? Why is it closed? Just staff?
Funding. I think they had some funding issues.
Yeah.
it's not a cheap thing.
I was going to say, it's quite a facility.
They're not coming in to pay their own bills.
No.
It's getting government funded or insurance.
It's a shame to see something like that go just because I don't really know, but it seemed like a good.
Yeah. But with the Heritage, we've got the option, we don't always have to call an ambulance and send them to the ER and overbook an ER where they could be saving somebody's life that needs saved.
Right.
Not that these guys don't need help, but it's not
it's
life.
Not
it's not one of those life or death situations. It's a psychosis situation or a manic state.
Yeah.
So a lot of times we can call Heritage, and most likely they have already had contact with this person because they're all local usually.
Right.
And we'll get a caseworker that comes out and that can settle this person down on scene.
Right.
We may do a transport to their place downtown, and it's basically happy for everybody because now we know they're getting care, and it's not taking up Abbott, it's not taking up the hospital space, and it's not taking up a jail cell.
That's good. So when is this election?
Early voting starts March 7th.
Okay. So this is considered campaigning right now, right?
Yes.
And so is there ever a time, do you guys get on a stage together and do?
I'm not sure if he'll do that or not. I'm more than willing to do that.
Oh, it's just however
it's going to depend on him and, and whether we get together on that,
So is it weird? Is it like weird tension? Like, is there people who are team Sheriff Root and you just, and I don't mean what people, but is it cause a kind of a strange work environment, or is it like, no, this is just part of the deal? People know that people run.
It's been challenging. Yeah.
I would imagine.
Yeah. Yeah. I've had some things happen to me that's
because then if you lose, are you screwed?
Well,
thirds, baby. Here I
thankfully we're union protected on our shift bids.
Oh, okay.
But I don't think it can get much worse for me than it already is.
Fair.
One of the things I was wanting to talk about was, how did I make the decision to put my name in the hat? Once I decided that I seen things that I wasn't in agreement with, and like I said before, just because I wasn't in agreement with it doesn't mean that the general public wouldn't be in agreement with it. That's their choice.
Sure.
And everybody has their own way of thinking, their own way of management and everything.
Right.
Now, I wasn't happy, and I knew that there needed to be a change in my eyes. Just in the atmosphere of the department and how things were ran.
Within.
I knew that there needed to be a change in the sheriff. So that was my first thought. So then, because of being an overthinker.
Oh, that was just a general thought. Somebody needs to be there.
Yes. That was just a general thought.
Not necessarily me.
Right. Yeah. At first, I didn't want it to be me.
Right.
Yeah. And I basically just knew that it was like that. I'm an overthinker, so I'm always kind of thinking outside the box. I'm always thinking of the other person. While I'm talking, I'm thinking about how are you receiving my message? It's just the way that we are.
That's good.
And, I basically went to everybody that preceded me in secession and asked them if they had any attributes that would cause them to want to run for sheriff. I didn't want to step on anybody's toes. I didn't want to look like an egomaniac. Like, here, this dumbass has been here for 10 years and he wants to run for sheriff. So I wanted to give everybody an opportunity to put their hat in the ring first.
Yeah.
So after I went to all my command staff, I went to other deputies that had time on me, and nobody wanted to take the risk that I took.
Because that's it. You're challenging the champ.
You're taking a chance.
Kinda?
You're taking a chance of vindictive behavior. You're taking a chance of getting thrown to the wolves. Maybe not getting promotions ever again. There's a lot of things that could happen to somebody to go against their boss. You just don't know.
Right.
It's unslated.
Yeah. It's
so
dangerous
it's like,
territory.
And myself being there as long as I have, I've seen 2 or 3 sheriff's races, and I've seen some vindictiveness in all of them. Of different things that have happened after the other person takes over. So, I've seen that. So, it can be there, but you don't know if it.
Hey, let me interrupt this conversation for just a quick second to shout out and plug the sponsors of the show that make it all possible. Aerial Elite Solutions. When it comes to drone technology, no one does it better. From solar inspections to construction monitoring to live event coverage and real estate showcasing, AES brings the sky to your side with unmatched quality, precision, and speed. Reach out to flyaes.com today to elevate your business. Midwest Lightning Rods. For nearly a century, they've been protecting homes from one of nature's most destructive forces. When lightning strikes, they make sure you're covered the right way and the safe way. Contact Midwest Lightning Rods today at lightningstrikes-weprotect.com to see how you can become part of the community protected by MLR. Support local, trust the best. Aerial Elite Solutions, Midwest Lightning Rods. Excellence from the ground to the sky. Now let's get back into it.
Boss, you just don't know.
Right.
You know, it's unslated, you know?
Yeah. It's
so
dangerous
it's like,
territory.
And you know, myself being there as long as I have, I've seen 2 or 3 sheriff's races, and I've seen some vindictiveness in all of them, you know, of different things that have happened after the other person takes over. So, I mean, I've seen that. So, I mean, you know, it can be there, but you don't know if it will affect you or not. And some of them have young kids, you know, some of them, maybe the wife doesn't work and this is the breadwinner job, you know? So, I mean, they don't have the ability to take the risk.
Right.
I have another talent, which is construction.
Yeah.
So when I left Speed Lube, I didn't leave on bad terms. He gave me a year's salary when I left.
Oh.
He gave me a year's worth of insurance. So I went out and started a business and worked for the VA. And I started renovating veterans' homes to basically help them stay in their environment.
Are you a veteran? No, you didn't go to the service.
My wife's a 6-year veteran.
Gotcha.
And all 3 of my boys have went to the military.
Okay.
And so basically I would go and I'd sit and drink coffee, and I would fix the guy's bathroom to where he could utilize his bathroom now that he didn't have legs or whatever, put a ramp on his front of his house or a chairlift, you know, and it was a very rewarding job, but I used that as a crutch till I could get on with the sheriff's department.
Yeah.
And the first time I tried for the department, I didn't get through the merit board meeting because a good friend of mine, Billy Tyus, his wife was on the merit board, and she couldn't get her head wrapped around why a guy that was making $130,000 a year would come to be a cop. And at the time I had a home, I renovate houses, you know, and I do all my own work. And I had bought a house in Findlay for like $100,000 with 18 acres of land.
Oh shit. Yeah.
And this was before housing prices went up and land prices went up. Well, I renovated the entire house and sold it for 3 times what I paid for it.
Nice.
So I knew that I had some assets that I could liquidate to basically give myself a chance to make a career change. So I did. I sold my pride and joy to pay off all my debt and throw some money in the bank because I had I had 2 young kids. My first year I made $47,000.
What?
Yep. But I was happier than I've ever been in my life.
Oh.
I was. I felt like $1 million. I couldn't get to work fast enough.
Because it wasn't for the money. It's crazy when you take that out of the equation, right?
Yeah. I would always be the first one there.
So I say again, I think 10 years is long enough to know a career. You better damn well know what you're doing in 10 years. But
well, I may not be the best at a narcotic stop, or I may not be the best at everything there. But what I am very, very good at is putting the right people in places.
Nor do you have to, as the sheriff, you don't have to be good at shit but putting people in the right, correct?
And the monitoring of that aspect.
That's what I'm saying is you're a management.
Yes.
I mean, you're upper management.
Yeah.
You're
with law experience knowledge, law experience knowledge.
Yeah.
So I understand
your job is to not let the good people walk away.
Yeah. And not to let them get themselves in a bind to where they could get in personal civil trouble or cause detriment to our community or our department.
Do you think if you won that there would be people, this is just an opinion question, do you feel like there would be more people want to be involved in being Macon County sheriffs? Or do you think how it is currently is turning people away from wanting to, we're losing sheriffs, but we're not really gaining any without this heavy incentive? So I guess that's it. Do you think that a turnoff now is kind of how things are and it would change? Or are you like, I really don't know if it's just,
I would like to hope that my, what I bring to the table, my attributes, I think would make a more cohesive environment to where people would want to stay.
And that's what it's all about, dude. I mean, obviously you aren't necessarily doing it for the check, but everybody else that comes to work does it because they need Thursday. They need that to come through in their account or whatever. So having a good work environment, no matter what business you're in.
Oh yeah,
It's just crazy how you're putting perspective
and
so much on how this is a business.
So much. It doesn't cost us nothing to have a good work environment. You know what I mean?
True.
It really doesn't. That's not.
It's the most rewarding thing in the world to not hate your job.
Just to hear the good job, or to know that somebody above you, like in a leadership position, whether it be your sergeant, your lieutenant, it could be the chief deputy, could be the sheriff. Just knowing that they noticed something that you did well in the community and them saying good job.
It means something.
It means
it does.
It means the world.
It does.
It
as
really
stupid
does.
as it seems,
it does.
It's huge.
It is.
Attaboys are priceless.
You know, cops are built a certain way. I mean, just like military guys, your type A personality people, and you always want results. You always want quick resolve,
Yeah.
I was fortunate enough to have a life before I became a cop, and I had been in some troubles with some law enforcement before, like at bar fights and stuff. And some of the times, I remember an incident at Dooley's, Dooley's was the
Dooley's,
thing.
yeah.
I was, how everybody'd get in a fight out there and you'd watch it at the windows. Everybody'd line them windows up and watch somebody get their ass beat. Well, I remember one time everybody's at the windows and, I walk over there and I'm like, what the hell? What's going on? And it was one of my friends from Speed Lube wearing his glasses. And there was a guy holding his arms behind his back, another guy with knuckles on, punching him in his face with his glasses
You're
on.
like, I got to help.
I'm like,
got to go, man.
I ran out the door, took the first guy down, and took the second guy down. Next thing you know, I'm getting sprayed and I'm cuffed. I'm in the back of a city squad car. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, this is absolute bullshit. I'm like,
why didn't I just piss a little longer?
Yeah. But I to this day, I'd have done it again.
Yeah. You can't just be whooping
even
on
if
my
I would have known the guy.
Yeah, you can't.
I'd have done it.
Yeah.
And so I remember the city. I don't remember the city cop's name because I couldn't see. And I just know I'm in the back of a squad car and
shit coming out of every hole in your face.
Oh, yeah. And they were more doing crowd control for a while, trying to get statements and stuff like that. So they came up to me and they were like, okay, do you know what you're here for? And I said, yeah, I know what I'm in here for. And I said, but I'm going to tell you what I saw. And I said, I feel like if you seize camera footage, I don't think I'll be sitting here. So about 15, 20 minutes go by and they come out, they let me step out and they take me out of cuffs and there's not going to be any charges today. And I knew there wouldn't be because what they did was wrong.
You just I don't know if we're going to go the long route or the short route.
Exactly. Yeah. I didn't know if it's going to end up going and getting booked and going
do I get to finish my beer or do I have to go to jail?
Right. And then all I remember is going to Steak and Shake as usual afterwards.
Yeah.
All I could taste was pepper.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And, but like I say, it was one of them things where I've been involved in situations, even off duty where I've seen things and I've had to act, you know? And it's one of them things that it's in you, Well,
so again, there's such a huge benefit to you having life before law enforcement because I don't think it's intentional even, man. I mean, I know some young dudes. Matter of fact, there's 2 guys that worked for me for a little while that are now police officers, and I love them, but they're different. They changed.
Yeah.
Like I'm even one to go, hey, don't can act like that towards me. I didn't do shit. Don't weird up on me.
Yeah.
And it's like,
I would say the only way that I've changed is I monitor my surroundings more.
Yeah.
Only because of the fact that I have had interactions with some people that are some bad guys.
Yeah.
I'm on the SRT team, so we hit houses and stuff.
Yeah.
And some people hold grudges. I'm not a grudge holder.
Right.
I'm one of them guys like in a leadership position. If I have an issue with you, we're going to sit down. We're going to discuss it. You're going to get what you get, whether it's a verbal reprimand, whether it's a shift counseling, a write-up, a suspension.
Yep.
But I'm not going to hold that over your head.
And we're pushing on.
We're done.
Yeah.
I'm going to meet you out. We'll have a beer together. I've asked all the upper deputies, like, in your whole career, who was your best sheriff? And they always tell me Jerry Dawson. And so I've picked his brain. I'm like, what made you the best sheriff, Jerry? And he says, I didn't really want to be sheriff. He said, I had to be sheriff because some outsider was coming in trying to get into the sheriff's shop. And what they told me, the deputies, was that when you got in trouble with Jerry Dawson, you got it. It was immediate and then it was over. And it was never held over your head. There was no grudges. It wasn't no bad boy club.
This is the playbook, period.
Yeah. This is why I did it because it's in this policy. This is what I have to do because this is what the egregious level is for this offense. Here's where we go afterwards. And like I say, let them hang themselves.
Yeah.
Most cops aren't going to continue to make bad decisions unless they're having a situation in their life to where they're making bad judgments outside of work that are causing them to make the bad judgments at
Right.
work.
I think that's the thing.
You
is
know?
a lot of people fail to realize that, again, even though you guys are authoritative figures, you're people.
We are humans.
Shit happens.
Yeah.
You know, you got kids and wife and bullshit in life, or not necessarily all the time, but it's possible.
Things aren't always peaches and cream.
No. Yeah, you guys don't get a pass on here's a great life since you're a cop.
And we are held to a higher power because of being a cop, because we do know the law. So like we don't step out of line and not get in trouble.
Right.
And I do agree with that. You know, I feel like we should be a different type person.
Right. Well, but if you catch in your position or the position you're going to have, even what are you?
I'm a deputy.
Like, you have people under you?
I'm probably, I think out of 52 people, I'm 25 or 26 on the list.
But I mean, like, do you have people that you actually, that report to you? There's none of that.
No, I used to train guys. I was basically taken out of that.
Okay.
And that was one of my smacks for,
how dare you
taking on the champ, you know?
Yeah. Do you feel like you're fighting an uphill battle, or are you like, no, I think I'm going to win?
I can tell you many, many times I'm like, what in the hell did I do this for? But there's been many times
you're gonna win, dude.
There's been many times that I've thought, why the hell did I ever leave Speed Loop? You know, because Mark's such a good person. And the relationship that I have with like Carl, that at the time I didn't, have what we had, it's like, I couldn't get along with these guys better.
Right.
And just all the great things that guy did for people. And it's like, so many times I've kicked myself in the butt. I remember when I first started doing construction for VA, I remember breaking down and crying at it was an older black male. He'd been Vietnam vet. And he's like, what put you here? And I was telling the story, and I was like, I'm raising 2 young kids. I no longer have that insurance. I remember, like if I would get in trouble as a young man, Mark had a lawyer on call. Boom, boom, boom.
Right.
I'm taken care of.
Yeah.
And it was like, I didn't have that parachute anymore.
Right.
But that
we kind of were raised with it. I mean, 18, you're a kid, dude.
Yeah. I grew up at Speed Loop. So, I've kicked myself in the butt for that. And then I've, many, many times, because I got out there early. I talked to Dan Calkins. Once I realized that I wasn't the only one seeing that there needed to be change, I seen people that actually supported my opponent that actually jumped off the boat and started seeing more and more people change. That's when I was like, okay.
So in the department now, is it choose your side? Would you be elected? When would you know?
The primary would be in March. Early voting starts March 7th. 17th is the actual election day. So like basically anybody that wants to vote early, they'd go to the annex building down there just south of the Macon County building, the Ambassador. They can go down there, take their ID. Anybody that's not, registered to vote or hasn't corrected their address, I strongly recommend they get out there and get that done ahead of time.
Probably do that shit online at this point.
You can do some of that online. Yeah, you go to illinois.gov. And then basically, if I was to win that would put me on the Republican ticket for the November primary.
Oh.
And then if a Democrat chose to jump in and take me on, then I would have to go again against that person.
Oh, so you have to go here first to see if you can.
Yep.
Okay. So, I asked that because is there any part of you that if you were like, okay, let's just say, I'm trying to how to word this correctly so you can answer it. Let's say you weren't running and there was someone else running that had your beliefs and your stance against Sheriff Root, and Root won again. Would you stick around, or are you like, I can't? I mean, something needs to change, or I can't do this.
I would.
Is it that much change that you feel? I mean, is it that important that you feel like if something doesn't give somehow, then you might have to go change oil?
I doubt that I'd go change oil.
I'm joking.
But the one problem that I have is that now that I've painted myself into a corner,
yep,
I'm not going to ever get promoted again.
Right.
There's,
Right.
just ain't gonna happen.
Right. I mean, this is your one shot, right?
I've axed that whole. I mean, I've made the sergeant exam. I've been on the sergeant list. Anything I've ever been asked to do, I've completed it and I've accomplished it, no problem.
Right.
But I know that my future is either win or I'm going to have to suffer the rest of my career. Because basically my initial goal was to work 20 years,
right,
and retire
halfway.
Now my goal is to earn everybody's trust and get my first 4 years in and improve to them and get my second easier, because I'll prove that I will be in the community.
Right.
I'm not going to work side jobs. I'm not going to be anything except for the sheriff for the community. I'm going to be at the Devon. So I'm not going to be there working. I'm going to be there shaking hands. I'm going to be there talking to people. I'm going to be there
representative of the community.
Yeah.
For the community.
I have no problem with somebody coming up and telling me what they need to tell me.
Right. One
other attribute that I will bring to the table that's not there now is if there's a significant event in our community, whether it affects our deputies, whether it affects certain families, I already told my wife, be prepared. I said, I'm going to have a jump bag and I'm going to work. I'm not going there to pull them off of it and take over. I'm going to go in there so they know that I have their back, and I'm going to be their support. I want to let them know that basically I care about you.
Right.
And this department cares about you, and so does your community. And
I'm not waiting to hear from you. I'm here.
Some of the things that we see, people shouldn't have to see.
Oh, yeah.
Military sees it. We have to see it. All first responders have to see it.
Yeah.
Ambulance drivers, firefighters.
Some ill shit.
There's some shit out there.
Yeah.
And you never know when it's going to come in and affect you.
Right.
Certain things have affected different people that I've worked with in different ways. Sometimes it might be because you know the person. Sometimes it might be you just seen them.
Right.
Or it might be you have a child that's at that age. Maybe you see a death at an accident scene and the body's mutilated or something, and it's like,
you don't forget that.
No, you see your child in the same manner, and it's like, oh shit,
this is real.
The only thing that's ever kept me from not sleeping at night is like a child issue.
Yeah,
there's innocence, man. I don't care about people yelling at me.
Right.
Everybody's like, aren't you scared to go up to a car and pull it over at night with the tinted windows? I'm like, I'm a man of God. And
I kind of think the same thing, though, bro.
I believe that if it's my time,
I'm gone.
My time's there already. I can't change that date.
Dude, I swear I was going to go there a little while ago to where I'm going. I mean, I've watched some of these videos of dudes getting
whacked on the way
up. To where it is like, I can't even see what is going on.
All you can do is trust your training. Trust your training. Always be prepared.
Right. I can't not pull you over because I'm scared.
No.
Oh,
I can't go to the domestic because I'm scared he might be in a tree waiting on me. You need to look in the trees on their way up.
He did that to you, ma'am?
Yeah.
I don't want no trouble.
Yeah. But
it's not funny, but it is just like.
But like I say, like we got shot at, with the city a couple years ago in the summer, and I can count on one hand how many times somebody in the department's been shot at.
Right.
Okay. So it was a odd experience.
Yeah.
So we have a desk sergeant come out, and we're basically helping the city because this is when these pop-up parties first started happening. And they'll basically congregate in a parking lot. They'll cut off some main arteries. You'll see 150, 200 cars parked bumper to bumper, 300 some people.
Just
and they're loitering in somebody's parking lot. So we'll get the call. The city will get the call first and saying, hey, they want these people removed. They're not buying their product. They're out drinking their tequila, smoking their weed, whatever it is they're doing in the parking lot. And so we go to assist. That's part of our job is assist them if they need help, certain times. Like what we do a lot of times is like if they go and they start to disperse a crowd, we'll go to another gathering point and block the entries so they can't come and start their party. So this night here, we're at Jasper and Wood, and the gas station there it's packed.
Yep.
The city makes their 3 announcements. They do their spray. They're always asking wind direction. And when that happens, it's time for the spray to come out. So next thing you know, we think we hear fireworks, and we got shots coming at us. And you can see the muzzle flash. There's some windows breaking on the building behind us. You could feel like the mortar of the bricks. And then when you watch your body cam video, you can hear the bullets whizzing past us. And it's like a unique sound. And I remember standing behind a city.
Now, are you guys
sergeant.
vested up?
We're vested up, yeah.
Either way, you still got a head.
But it's all of us. It's all of us. I truly, I don't feel like the guy wanted to hit us because there's such a huge crowd there. I don't think anybody could miss that many people.
I was going to ask that. Was it more just like,
yeah,
yeah?
But the effect of it, it's traumatic effect.
Hell yeah.
So we run to our squads. They run to their squads. We rifle up. We use buildings to try to get to his location. And he's gone, obviously, by the time we get there, find shell casings. Well, after the incident, we have to go in and we have to download body cams, because that's a pretty important event,
Yeah.
So you go in, you download evidence, and they reassemble. So they reassemble this time on Wood and 22nd. Same issue. So we call in as much reinforcements as we
And you're
can.
talking pretty much the same group.
Same group.
They just
Yep.
roll down the road, and they're like, "What are you going to do?"
Well, yeah, and in their aspect, they feel like, what else is there for us to do? That's what that's their entertainment.
Sounds
We used to
good.
cruise El Dorado,
Right.
and we would park in parking lots.
Yeah. True.
We wouldn't block a business's ability to make money,
Right.
or to where nobody could come through the lot, but we would congregate in the lot.
Sit on the hood.
Yeah.
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 Agreed. We did. Yeah.
Everybody's trying to take up the prettiest girl home.
Yeah. That's it, man. Yeah.
So anyway, we reassemble and we call in all the state boys that we can.
Yeah.
So I remember we drive up there 3 wide, probably 9 cars deep, and I got a state trooper on both sides of my squad, and rifles on their chest.
Oh, so you
And
guys are ready to roll now.
I'm like, this shit's real, and it's like, this is crazy. And however, we still do the same procedure. You got to give the 3 announcements, and you got to give them a chance to disassemble first. And that just
And how are these announcements getting given?
over
By
PA by the city.
So they can hear it.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
they hear it. But
It's not like there's a spokesman for this group.
but they definitely test your patience.
Oh, because they're like, let me first record everything in case you do something fucking.
Exactly.
Yeah. If one of your deputies decides to be like, you know what, fuck that.
Yeah. But basically, after all this is over, we end up back there. We have to write reports. You got to document everything, because you've had your weapons out.
Did they get out? Did they leave this time?
Yeah, we dispersed them.
Okay.
Yep, we got them all out of there. And but your adrenaline's on a 10. I mean, it's like, because
it's just you weren't just in war.
Yeah. It's not near what some of these people in Iraq.
Yeah, no, but I just mean, you know,
but it's a situation that you generally don't think you're going to be in.
Yeah.
Even though you've taken the oath and you've taken the job, it's just the odds of it are very, very small.
Right.
It's especially in our community. I mean,
yes.
I think the only threat we really have is domestics and younger guys that are trying to make a name for themselves.
Yeah.
These older guys that have been, ganging it up for years.
They're like,
they don't want no gun charge.
No, hell
They don't want to go to prison.
No.
They like their dinner every night. And they like to sit at home. But basically after it was over with, crickets.
Really?
Yeah. The city, I remember they had a debrief before they could even go home. We never heard anything until the next week. And there was a message copy and pasted from Chief Brindell thanking us for our courage and standing up with his guys. And that was one of the big things that really sealed the deal with me on,
You were like, this was way too big of a deal to not be.
Yep.
Yeah, agreed.
And it isn't that I needed a certificate. It isn't that I needed this. It's just that my mind wasn't right from it. And I didn't even realize it. My wife and my neighbor realized it. And I ended up talking to Cody Moore's brother from state police, and he talked to me for a long time.
Right.
And he goes, the issue isn't that you got shot at. The issue is that it didn't matter. And I was like, well, and that's why I always think of the people.
Mm-hmm.
I think of, okay, how could this possibly, as a sergeant even, or a lieutenant, they should be thinking about how could this, is anything going to compromise my guy's ability to go back out there and do his job correctly? Because you're setting him up for failure if not.
Dude, I'm saying you leaving a place where you just got shot at, and then it's like, oh shit, saddle up. We're rolling right now.
Yeah.
I mean, there had to be 50% of the people that were going,
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
I need to finish uploading my.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, you're immediately out.
I know.
Yeah. I mean, when you're amped up, I mean,
It's on. It's go time.
Yeah.
But I think that's it. It's so strange because like you said, it's a crowd. You shoot at me. It isn't like I can shoot you.
No, I have to be. I have to have a serious reason to shoot a weapon.
Yeah.
And our training is don't ever point unless you intend to damage or kill what you're aiming at.
Did you have your gun out at that?
A rifle, yeah.
So has there been any other times where you've had to draw your weapon?
Oh yeah. We've had some mental suspects that were suicidal and they had weapons. And I can remember an incident where we had a guy that was sitting in the middle of the street after running all tires off of his car from spike strips, and I can say there was probably 40 guns on him. And it's like, I'm like, man, if this dude points that thing the wrong way, this is going to look really bad. And then with the problem we have with our inner city right now is like the crowds form so fast because everybody's so condensed. You could have 100-person crowd in no time.
Right.
And so now you got all these phones. You've got all these people screaming, F the police, F this, F that. And it's like your focus
is way more bodies.
Our focus is how can we get out of this without having to harm this person and get them the help they need.
Right.
That's all we want.
Right.
The gun is to save me and my brother and sister for going home.
Right.
And it's the last resort.
Right.
It's not the first resort. It's the last resort.
So have you seen I don't know if they're doing it Cali or are you familiar with Burner, the BRYNA Burner? It looks like a 9mm, but it shoots BBs that are about that big.
Yeah.
Have you seen that? Yeah. And I seen that. I don't know if the company was trying to get the law enforcement to use it in Cali, and I think it didn't go so well because it was like, well, you know what will piss you off really bad is if you get shot with one of them because you're not going down. It'll just piss you off.
Generally, people like that you're dealing with is, that's usually a drug, excited delirium issue or something. They're in psychosis mode.
Right.
They're a mess.
Yeah.
And it's going to take power.
They need to simmer down.
Keep your distance if they ain't got a weapon and let them calm down, until they become a threat to themselves or another.
So I think that's the part about law enforcement. And I don't know how much training you guys get on it, but you guys it's like multiple hats have to be worn at a traffic stop.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, you kind of have pointed out if you like what's been going on in their life. It's like, well, that's therapy, first of all.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So I think whenever you go, let's lower the age of hiring. I don't know if lowering the age means lessen the qualifications, but at some point it goes, okay, just having bodies with badges and guns is not a solution.
No. And I've heard many comments about, they see some of the new guys and they're very young.
Yeah. Which that doesn't matter. I mean, we were all young.
90% of it is how were they raised as a child?
Yep.
I mean, one thing I noticed in training new guys was not only are you training them to be a cop, you're training them to be a man.
Fair.
How to look people in the eye, speak to them.
Yeah.
Not be somebody or not, because a career criminal is going to pick you apart.
Right.
Just be yourself. Be human.
Yeah.
I'm not going to baby coat something. If I know I'm going to arrest you, I'm going to tell you I'm going to arrest you.
Right.
I'm not going to play no game with you.
Right. Right.
Right. And they're always asking, like, am I going to jail? Am I going to jail? I'm like, just let me figure out what's going on.
Right. If the answer is yes right now, you'll know.
Yeah. Cuffs go on just like they come off. You know, if I need to put you in cuffs for a time period to get things safe so I can evaluate the situation, that's what's going to happen.
Right.
And sometimes they'll get a little flustered or something. And I'm like, listen, you're not under arrest, you're being detained, and it's like, I'll work with you. You work with me, I'll work with you. I need to hear both sides of the story. There's always two sides and neither one of them are always right. It's usually a mix of the both. So you got to be able to analyze,
Oh, yeah, because you're getting fed complete bullshit every time because they just don't want to go to jail.
And sometimes the victim or the suspect.
Right.
And it's like, so you got to keep yourself from swaying yourself one way or another.
Just be open.
Yeah, one of the things I would train my guys on the way to a call, it's like, okay, you see the call. I said, usually the first person that calls, I said, they're the most amped up.
Right.
They're the ones that are really pissed. So it's like, let's play devil's advocate. What if this happened? So I always try to get them to open their mind before we get there to think about, okay, don't just go with what the dispatcher told you. Go with what you see, get your statements, look at bodily, body indicators, like is there any kind of injuries?
Right.
Look at the atmosphere that they're in, is there stuff thrown all over the house,
Right.
You're not always
Did you just think you were going to get him in jail because you called?
Yeah. You have to be open-minded until the end.
Right. Because it's a game.
Yeah. It's all about getting safe and then evaluating your situation.
Oh, that would not, I don't envy it, dude.
No, it gets old sometimes, and especially if it's the same people over and over.
Which I'm sure
and it is. The city, I can tell you, people.
Hey, Bob, again?
Yeah, being in law enforcement, you hear bitches a lot. And it's like, man, the city never came there. I'm like, man, I'm going to tell you right now. I said, when I go on duty, the city's list of calls is lit up. And they rate them from priority 1s to priority 4s, and it's like they have to take their first priority calls first because that is an instant, immediate threat of danger, and then it goes to number 2.
It's your 13th time this month. We'll get to you, bro.
Yeah. So it's like they got to go in priority succession. Yeah. So there's certain calls that might be a priority 4 that might not get answered until the next day, or it gets teleserved by a command officer that's in the department.
So does anyone... What is the difference? Like, does everything go to the police and then you guys get called? Or how does that work?
It's jurisdiction, and basically anything annexed by the city is covered by the city. And then anything outside the city that's still county property is what we patrol.
Oh, okay.
We're allowed to patrol in the city, but, our job is generally to... Like
the smaller towns, you mean?
Yeah. And we do have like Maroas on duty. We have, not always, there's weekends that they won't have coverage. You'll got Blue Mound the same way. Warrensburg's the same way.
Where are you at currently?
Basically, like seniority dictates, like if you're going to be an all car, where you'll back up north and south.
Okay.
You'll be a north. Basically, we'll
separate
area quadrants.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, but like we do help the city. Like if they have a couple shootings or whatever, we'll help quarantine a scene.
I guess that was my question. So do they reach out? I mean, do they go, hey, we need some...
Dispatch will come over the air and they'll be like,
any available
units, please. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And we try to leave one person available just for any kind of emergency scenes on our side.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not an enviable position, man.
It's just
a lot of,
it's a lifestyle, and it's pretty easy to know whether it's something that you're good at or not so much good at, but it's something you can deal with or not.
Well, when you came in, even thinking about it after we had talked, I'm going, how much difference can a person make? And then the more I thought about it, it was almost like, well, you have the potential of completely changing the dynamic of how things are.
Yeah.
You or anyone, whoever gets elected, good or however it can go. The dynamic can change so drastically that last thing you want is law enforcement to not want to be law enforcement in the area that they're law enforcement.
And unfortunately, our state is a very liberal state.
Yeah.
And the laws aren't very keen to our needs.
Right.
Or the citizens' needs.
So, but do you get that? Chicago requires its own set of rules.
Right.
It really does.
But then they trickle down to us.
For sure.
And it's a different environment here.
Completely. So I think that is the hair to where it goes, well, you go up there and you've been there.
Mm-hmm.
It does. Some of it makes sense.
Yeah.
It has to be a certain way because there's too many people.
Yeah. Yeah.
However, downstate, which I believe is from Rockford.
Yeah. I-80 down.
Yeah. But yeah, so I think it's kind of just hairy. So what is your take on, is whenever they legalized pot, was that a couple years ago now?
Mm-hmm.
Was that a big deal? Was that a big, hey guys, I guess we're not putting people in jail for weed anymore. This is crazy.
Right. I would say,
was it a training for it?
Oh yeah. Yeah. I'm what they call a DRE. It's a drug recognition expert.
Uh-huh.
So, and I also am a phlebotomist. So basically, with the marijuana, we have a couple hour window of time of contact to draw blood because marijuana is a short-lived active substance in your bloodstream.
Oh, and you can test for like amount of nanograms of. Oh,
yeah, no right shit. Now by law, 5 nanograms or more in your blood or other biosubstance, whole blood or other biosubstance is considered impaired.
Oh, so if you pull someone over right now and you smell they just smoked a blunt, you can. Yeah.
Me, because of the fact that I can look at eyes and I can look at mannerisms, and based on my expert training, I can see things that some cops might not.
Sure.
I could pull somebody out and say, hey, I think you're impaired by cannabis. And there is a cannabis DUI. If I pull them out for a cannabis DUI, they either have to test or they can lose their license for a year.
Oh, it's like a blow. Like you can. This is the
the
field sobriety is
field
that
sobriety. And then if I see indicators on the field sobriety that lead me down that rabbit hole to think that, yeah, I'm definitely right, I'm going to ask for blood and urine. If they refuse blood and urine, they lose their license for a year.
Oh, yeah.
Now, it doesn't mean it's going to end up getting convicted. Sure. You know, it could get dropped in court.
It's going to be a shitty day, though.
But the question is, did I save somebody's life?
Right.
You know, and right. I don't take it lightly. I don't push DUIs. I'm not going to push one on somebody when I don't think it's there.
Right.
Because I am ultimately the person that's going to testify against that person at a later date.
Yeah.
And it's my credibility that's at stake. You know, one thing I learned at PTI, and this is something that most cops do learn, is the one thing nobody can take from you is your integrity. But once you lose your integrity as a cop, you're worthless.
True.
Because they'll pull it against you every court case you're on.
Yeah.
You'll never testify again.
Right. Yeah. Well, I think, and DUIs, they're rough. But, dude, alcohol, I mean, not everybody, but, you know, having a beer is great. But, dude,
and I enjoy it. I enjoy partying a little bit. I don't know when the last time I've ever been, I would say, impaired, like drunk.
Right.
I can't even remember the last time I've been drunk because I don't like the feeling the next morning.
Well, and I think that's it. As it goes, I hate the idea of DUIs, but have a few too many drinks and see if you don't not remember what the hell happened last night. Like that could lead to
I can think of many times growing up, like when I bowled on leagues and stuff. Like, how in the hell did I get home?
That's what I'm saying.
And so I can sit there in the interrogation room when I'm processing a DUI, and I can sit there and usually they'll go through a chain of emotions. Like they'll be sometimes a little lippy out on the street, you know, or complacent of the fact that they're not impaired. No, I'm fine. You're crazy. You know, I don't know what.
Once we get past that point,
they don't realize that how much training we've actually had to see what we're seeing.
Right. And you're acting worse now by explaining yourself.
But once you get them to the jail and they realize, well, I'm not going to get out of this. Right. It's a different person you're dealing with. Yeah. And then they could be crying.
Yep.
They could be thinking about, man, I just ruined this job, or I just ruined my kids are going to think stupid of me or something, you know, older children. Yeah. So it's like, you just got to be a human again.
Yeah. And compassion, man.
I sit there and tell them, like, I could have been sitting where you're at many, many times in my life.
It sucks. You're going to deal with it.
I got lucky, and luckily I never hurt nobody.
Right.
You know? And that's the whole thing. You know, once you see the true statistics of what DUI causes, and it's just something you have to do.
Well, and you know what? If you go through it, even if you only lose your license for a little bit, then you got to blow a machine and you got to pay $10,000. And you got to do it. Kind of makes you think twice.
Yeah, unless you're an habitual DUI, I tell everybody, I'm like, you know, you should do everything I ask you to do, because the chances of you basically getting off of it are better. I feel like, because if you did everything that cop said and you didn't act out and you take responsibility for your actions, you're going to have a better chance of getting something reduced to reckless driving, or you know what I mean. But if you're an habitual DUI and you're on your 4th, 5th DUI, you're gonna ruin your chances.
I remember in 2009 I got a Dewey, and I'm sitting there and I know that blow and shit's gonna go better. You know what I mean? Because at the time I think it was
0.01 or 0.1,
or I knew I was close. Done regardless. But I was just saying, if I refuse, it's a year.
Yeah.
This, I'm at least going to be able to do
minimum. Yeah.
And still, I was like, I can't cooperate with you, man. And he's like, but what? Yeah. Like he's going, dude.
And part
you're
of
about to screw yourself.
Part of
and
it
I'm
as
like,
a cop is you want that vindication that you made the right choice. But once you've been trained enough, you don't need the vindication anymore. You know whether you did the right thing or not.
I think it was the point where he's going, hey, man, just think about ahead. And I go, I got to say, fuck off, man. Sorry. And he's like, oh. Yeah. All right. Well, if I catch you the next year, it's your ass. Yeah. It's like, oh, God dang it. But no, it is. The stuff's not. I mean, none of that is fun.
No. But going back to the cannabis, though, you know, I mean, when I was younger, I've done cannabis, you know, I'm not going to lie, you know, and I had to admit that when I went to to my training.
Yeah.
And being an overthinker, it was one of the only things that I ever did that could calm me down. I didn't want to take a bunch of medications.
Yeah.
But, my wife, after we had our child, it was like, you need to be a man.
Yeah,
And I've been married 26 years and with her for 30.
Yeah.
And once you have a kid, how
it's
it is.
Different.
It is different.
It is different.
And it's that growing up stage. It's like when you let your party guys sit over here and it's maybe every other weekend now versus every day.
Yeah.
And, or maybe it's everybody's birthday or something.
Yeah.
It just starts getting trickled down.
Sure.
And the life of home life comes more effective in your life.
Adulting.
Yeah. But I think back to, when they first started trying to fight to legalize weed, I knew very big proponents, and some of them are lawyers here in town that fought to get this program, years and years ago. And now I see how much they take advantage of it. I mean, everywhere you go, all you do is smell it.
Oh my God.
And
I don't care.
It's horrible. It's like if you walk into Brentwood Village Kroger, it's like maybe they're selling it here. I don't know.
No,
you're bad.
But no, you're the number of places. So here's what I don't like, right? Is I'll pop 10 milligram edible on an evening currently and go count sheep. But I got a 15-year-old son. Yeah. I hate going I want to be that guy who goes, man, who is, because it is like he's looking at me and I'm like, oh my God, like what?
But it's the nature of humans. I mean, we take advantage of everything.
Yeah, easy route, right?
It's that greed, it's that take advantage, and it's like if I can do this, now I can do this. It's like everybody wants to just one up.
Yes.
Like, God,
yeah.
man.
Now, not only can you buy a bottle of booze at every gas station, but we got pre-rolls
or kratom. It's like all this other stuff.
So I'm not I know about it, but I don't know what is that.
Well, it's kind of like it's a store bought like heroin. It's kind of something that. It's not a good drug, and it's starting to get.
It is a drug.
It's getting outlawed, in different places. It just hasn't quite been here yet.
How do you take it? Do you eat it or chew
I think
it or smoke it?
I haven't never done it, but I believe you can smoke it or you can take it, eat it.
Yeah, that's what people need is another way to.
Yeah, I remember the old K2 thing, and I mean, you come up with people that were just off.
I know a couple buddies that. Yeah. One. I think he's passed away now, but it was like
it kind of went to the wayside.
But he got really weird.
Oh yeah, you'd see a lot of paranoia with it.
Yeah, and it'd be like, oh, it's because I can't smoke weed because of my job, and I'm like, you're smoking potpourri though.
Yeah, potpourri from China that you hate us. It's like that
spray
makes no
some
sense.
shit on it. It'll make you feel weird. It's like, man, I feel like you could just get under your cabinet.
Yeah, and in our training, the way we were described, it was basically you could buy the same brand 2 weeks separate and it could be a different mix. So it's not going to affect you the same both times, So it's like, and it puts you into an excited delirium to where it takes several officers and maybe a firefighter to get you down.
Really?
Oh yeah.
So there was that gas station on
Grand.
Well, it's Ravina Park Road in Oakland.
Yeah.
It now is closed, actually. Yep. There's the one that's open, but then the one that
has the car wash. Yep. Yeah.
So when it closed, it's been a long time ago. I lived right over there. So I would go in there, grab a can of dip regularly.
Yeah.
And it was, it doesn't matter who owned it, but it was a guy, the owner of it. He got arrested for they were bagging up their own.
Yeah, making it themselves.
Like they had big bags and they were actually like, what the?
Yeah. I know.
And you know what all people cared about? Oh, it's cheaper.
Yeah. I know.
What?
I know.
But yeah, so when he got arrested, I think what it was is when they got him for it, he was a previous felon, had a gun in the store. So he was like, I'm toast. Yeah. Like I remember having a conversation with man, I seen all the police here. He's like, yeah, we're done.
Right.
I'm cooked. I'm fighting it, but I'm cooked. And then that's when he said we got in trouble because I don't know, they didn't call it K2, it's called it whatever that.
Right.
Feed or whatever.
I think it was Spice.
Spice, there you go. And it was like you just were selling some bullshit. Junk. And he's like, yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Pretty much. He's like, I made enough to pay for a lawyer to still get me to go to prison.
Oh man.
But either way, I mean,
yeah.
So I think that would be the hard part. Like I get to choose to not deal with people who are a mess.
And I have to, that's mandated for me.
Yeah. That's what you do.
Yeah.
So is there anything, and we've touched on a lot, but is there, I guess, I mean, humanity is kind of seems like your thing is going, whether it be at the workplace, whether it be in the community, whether it is humanize police officers or
treat people like you want to be treated.
Yeah. It's a valuable message. But the thing is again, it isn't like you're 25 and people are going to go, well, we'll see if you do. You're like, no, you've already lived the life of doing this.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I feel like, and again, I don't know Root. All I know is Root is a super cop.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
He's done it his whole life.
Or his the description you hear from other people. It's like he's all cop. And my problem with that is that's not a good thing. For the community, we don't look at it. Nobody wants that guy. I just mean nobody wants to deal with this guy knows the law, he's right, and you're wrong, and then it's black and white, by the book. That's not humanity. That's not normal. So whenever you even say, everybody has a situation. That's huge, man.
Yeah.
That's
And I think his attributes towards the job obviously lean towards the rigid side and, the law and order. And I can't change the laws. I mean, I can help influence maybe a bill that maybe comes up that could change a law or make a law.
Sure.
By getting people behind me or something, but I can't change a law. I'm not going to change the books.
Right.
So I'm basically enforcing what's already there. I'm making sure my guys enforce what's there. And I agree with 100% being focused on that and disciplined with that aspect. However, like I say, bring in the aspect of human nature and what did they harm? Did they damage somebody's property? Did they do something to somebody's personal liberty? Civil liberties, and how serious of a crime have they committed? Things like that. I think that needs to play an effect in the final judgment day.
Especially in a smaller community.
And then you got the whole deal of are they even going to prosecute it?
Right.
Our state's attorney may. When I first started, I would watch my cases all the way through
to make sure,
and see what the conviction, see if I got a conviction or not, see if I made any mistakes.
Oh,
because if a cop makes a mistake, usually it'll
do they come tell you about it, or is it like
you'll get a no charge sheet? But not always is it because you made a mistake. It's because they made a plea deal,
right?
Right. But when you first become a cop, you're gung ho of like, okay, I the very first day that I had to search somebody's car, I felt so dirty. I was like, man, I'm a piece of shit.
Here I am.
What am I doing?
Narcoing it up out here.
Yeah. I mean, you watch TV growing up and it's like, you feel like this bad guy and it's like,
wait a minute.
Right. And then it becomes normal. And for that to come normal,
think I know about this spot.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah. So it's kind of just, it's one of them things that you progressively learn and you get used to and you develop, skill sets.
Now, if you search and don't find anything, that's when you probably feel like a dick.
Sometimes.
It's like, either they outsmarted me or there's nothing here.
But I'll tell you a story I tell a lot of the rookies that I would train is like I was going westbound from Sliders going towards Decatur.
Uh-huh.
And I had a brand new Hellcat coming at me.
Oh.
And he was running very, very fast. And I turned around, and I turned around at the Kroger's and I come back and I see him hit his brake lights. And he stops. And I'm like, holy shit, what is this guy thinking?
Right.
He could have
just gone. Yeah.
So this is before the state changed our ruling of basically, it used to be like when we smelled the odor of cannabis in a car, we had the car. We could search the car.
That's probable cause or whatever.
It gave us a reasonable assumption that there's possibly weed in the car or something. So they have since changed that because of the legalness, the being legal. You could be around somebody else that either has it on them or you might have just left a party where it was being smoked. Now your whole clothes smell like weed.
That's not false.
Nope. Yeah. It happens. I mean, I could walk through Kroger and come out and smell like I just smoked dope.
For real.
So my wife would be like, what'd you do in there? Like, like, no, I didn't do that.
I got some Doritos.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Come out with the munchies.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I forgot what I went in for.
Yeah. But basically, this was at a time whenever we still had the ability to take the car if we, not take the car, but take and search the car if we felt that the odor of cannabis was there.
Right.
So I walk up this guy and I mean, he's the typical, basically what you'd see on TV as a drug dealer type person,
Yeah.
He had gold teeth through his mouth. He had a tracksuit on. He had chain on, rings
He's
on his
driving
fingers.
$80,000.
Driving, yeah, an $80,000 Hellcat. But the dude was so cordial to me and so nice. And I was like, man, he's either really fucking hiding something or he's legit.
Right.
So I told him, I said, man, I said, first off, you always introduce yourself, explain to him why you stopped him. And I said, dude, I said, I think you're going too fast. He goes, yeah, I just got this car. He said, I'm having fun with it. And I said, well, second thing, sir, I said, I smell the odor of cannabis coming from your car. And I said, I'm going to search the car. I said, am I going to find anything? He goes, dude, no, there's nothing in here. I said, okay. I said, so I'm going to have you step out, and I had a backup coming. And I told him, I said, dude, I said, we both know you didn't have to stop. Why'd you stop? And he goes, well, I'm the only thing I did wrong was the speed. And I said, I understand. I said, okay. I said, have you had any tickets lately? He's like, no. So I said, well, I'll check that out too.
You're like, man, this shit's adding up, kind of. What's
So
going on?
it's all odd.
Yeah.
It's all odd, And so I searched the car, and there isn't even a piece of shake in this car.
He just got it.
He just got it. And he told me that he'd been taking people to parties all night, and he's been to DD all night and stuff like this. So I let him stand by the hood of my car while I'm searching. I don't find nothing. I said, well, you're a man of your word. I'm a man of mine. I said, I'm going to write you a warning. And I said, we're going to get on our way, because he had insurance.
Yeah,
everything straight,
Yeah.
And he's like, are you serious? I said, yeah, I'm serious. I said, dude, I think that this went well. I said, you did the right thing by stopping. I said,
even better by not being a dick.
Yep. You treated me right. I
Yeah.
said, you didn't have nothing in your car. I said, I told you what I was going to do. I said, and that's what I'm going to do. So I wrote him a warning to let him go.
Mm-hmm.
Backup arrives. I'm standing there. We're shooting the shit. And next thing you know, we get a call of Sliders. And it says there's a person down in the parking lot. So we don't know if it's somebody had been shot. We don't know if it's somebody that's overdosed. We don't know if it could have been a fight. You never know.
Person down.
That's all we know. Person down. And this is back when Sliders would have DJs.
Yeah.
And I mean, you'd see the cloud of smoke in the parking
Yeah,
lot.
yeah,
type
yeah,
thing.
yeah.
And it was a brief period of time.
Yep.
It's not like that no more.
No.
And, I pull in the front lot, and my backup pulls in the side lot there off Salem School. And we
Yep.
kind of come in at different angles, to block entries. And we're starting to walk through the crowd. I'm getting surrounded, and I'm getting called everything you can think of, a child molester, everything else that they can call cops,
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
next thing you know, I hear somebody's voice, and they're like, leave that dude alone. He's fucking cool. And it's the dude in the tracksuit.
No shit.
And there ain't nobody mess with me the rest of that time. And I tell everybody, I'm like,
never
you
know. Man.
never know which one of these people may be your best asset someday. They may not stick around for the lights and the media,
Yeah.
but if they see you getting your ass whooped on the side of the road,
They're going to make sure to
help
stop
you.
it. Yeah. No, that's powerful,
and
dude.
I tell all the rookies, I would tell them that story, and I'm like, you just never know what act of kindness you can do that's going to come back and benefit you someday.
Right. And
I
had
still
you
see
had
this
that
guy-
chip on your shoulder, it
Yeah.
could have been really shitty time.
I still see this guy occasionally, and he still bumps fives with me and stuff, and it's like,
Is he a dope dealer?
I don't think so.
You're just like, no, he just has some style like that.
I think a lot of the stuff is, I mean,
It's trendy
we all
type.
come from a different background.
For sure.
I come from an old country hick background,
Right. Right.
They watch different things on TV than I watch. I watch
Yeah.
Dukes of Hazzard and
Yeah.
Lone Ranger.
He
and
wanted
stuff.
some gold teeth, saved up, and got them.
I mean, he watches the videos, and that's what he wants his
For sure.
lifestyle
It's
to
just
be.
different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at Snoop Dogg on TV.
Right.
Nobody realizes how much money he's given to the NFL guys, all these football agencies, and things.
Yeah.
He's a
playing a
businessman,
role,
dude.
man.
He's
Huge.
businessman.
Very good one.
50 Cent, same
Same thing. Genius.
And that lifestyle is transponded to these.
Well, it is trend
this generation.
setting.
Yeah,
But yeah,
it is.
So I think that's the difficult part is going, again, prejudging is just built
It's not
into
right.
most people.
I think it
but
is, too. It's
You
the
have
nature of
to
us.
not. You have to go, okay.
You have to go back to your training and say,
Yeah.
I know that my brain is telling me that this dude's got a pound of weed in his trunk, but maybe he doesn't.
Maybe he don't. Let's see.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're
Let
right.
him hang himself.
Yeah.
Just like in the discipline side, you do it the same way with him.
Right,
You
right.
just got to be a consistent leader, and you got to be consistent, man.
That's crazy.
And ultimately, like I told my wife, my end goal is to be talked about. Like I had the fortunate experience to sit there whenever they did the dedication to tuna at the Civic Center.
Yep.
And by no means am I saying I'm of a caliber of man of that man.
Okay.
But basically, one day I want to be talked about. Like, I have put some things out there that I'm going to do and that I'm going to make happen for the sheriff department if I am elected. I want to be known as the guy that did what he said he was going to do and be respected for that. And I feel like out of my opponent and I'm the only one that can probably make that happen. I want to be able to be talked about like that. That's my legacy in life. It's not my bank account. I don't care if I have $1 in my pocket when I die. I care about that if somebody comes to my funeral, they tell my children that I was a good man and I did what I said I was going to do.
That's legacy, man. It is.
That's all that matters.
It's powerful. It's just, do you realize how rare that is?
Well, in my family, it's not rare.
Oh,
I've seen it. My grandfather is my idol in my life. I mean, he was my grandpa Beck.
Or I guess just you've observed humanity in a different way for the last 10 years.
I've taken little bits of every good person I've seen, and I've seen the bad. Trust me, I've seen tons of the bad, but I've seen so much good, and I try to take little attributes of everything and try to build the best I can build.
Well, and the bumps in life that hurt. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, to be able to go, people are going through bumps in life, man. Mm-hmm. I mean, let's not add to it. Let's try to see if we can. Yeah. I just think it's really cool, really huge. Yeah. So how do you go about, like this campaign? How do you do it? Is it literally, I mean, do you have things where you get together and speak to a bunch of people, or is it like social media, or
right now it's a lot of social media. Basically I got a Facebook page. I try to be in the public eye as much as I can. Yeah. I hang out at Legion Hall on Tuesday nights. I go down there for the Queen of Hearts, and I got a group of pals that are down there, and I might drink 3 beers.
Sure.
And it may take me 6 hours to drink those 3 beers. But, just being around that type of atmosphere and listen to their stories. A lot of them are older, wealthy men and stuff. And it's like, I love that atmosphere.
Yeah.
One of my goals in life is that when I retire is to have just a little sit down bar like a Nelly's or something, where people can just come in and just shoot the shit, and relax.
Yeah.
But like on Thursday nights, I'll do the Queen of Hearts, the KSC Hall. Try to go to benefits when they're around, to help people, like my Ashley Nail.
And is there like when you go, is there like a platform that, or are you like, no, I'm just shaking hands and talk, and there's not like everyone here, I'm here to talk about that.
This shirt never comes off when I'm off duty.
Is that right?
Yeah. Okay. I wear my shirt everywhere I go. My wife does as well, except for when she wants to be bougie.
Cook came in here busting up out of one of those shirts.
I can't fill out a shirt like that, man, and he's a good dude.
He came in here and said, obviously I haven't been working out. I go, what the hell? You haven't? What
It's like, what kind of Cheerios do you eat in the morning?
Keep not working out because you look great, bro.
Yeah, he does. And like I say, back when he worked for me, he was a skin and bone little dude, man. And then he always had these big bones. So, I mean, you could tell he had the frame that could be big.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what makes sense. It threw me off when he came in here and he had that shirt on. And I was just like, what the hell? Yeah. And he goes, man, it's my buddy. And I'm like, what? You got a sheriff buddy? Yeah. And he goes, yeah, he hasn't always been a sheriff. Yeah. It was like, not that it doesn't matter. No. However, it kind of does, man, because there are the other part of the world who goes, hey, I haven't always liked what you do, but we need you. My kids need you. My family needs you.
I have friends right now that are sitting in jail cells in prison.
Sure.
I have friends that have done their time in prison.
Yeah.
And I strongly believe that if someone has corrected their lifestyle once they've done their time and paid their penance, then they should be treated the same way they were before they ever had any criminal activity.
Right.
I don't feel like stuff should be held over somebody's head.
Right.
There now, like I say, there are certain crimes.
Yeah.
Child molestation, things like that, arsonists.
Yeah. I mean, you don't grow out of that shit.
Some of that stuff doesn't change.
Right.
But somebody that sold drugs, or whatever, and thought they were going to be, whatever, the kingpin.
Yeah.
It ain't, you're going to get caught eventually. And they're living a lifestyle where they're looking over their shoulder every day.
Yeah.
And we're that gotcha. Like when we go in and we raid that house, it's like we're the slam dunk.
Yep.
And it doesn't make you feel wonderful that you're putting somebody away, but it does make you feel vindicated that, that guy needed to get a hit.
Yes.
And when they can come out and change their life, thank God for them, man.
And I think that's it. Is some wake up calls that just come in different forms.
And some people need two.
Yeah, for sure.
You just don't know.
No. Yeah,
you know?
you're right. You're right.
Because we see a lot of people that'll be repeat offenders immediately after they get as soon as they get out of prison, man, they're right back on the damn grind. And I'm like, what the hell?
You loved that shit,
Yeah,
huh?
it's like they must have loved prison or something,
Right.
because they're going to go back. It's like you didn't learn nothing. And times have changed since then. Our abilities have changed since then to monitor and to be able to see what they're doing.
Right.
And more people are going to rat them out because of the refunds, rewards, and things that they may get to turn somebody in.
Yeah. So one more thing that I want to ask you about, which I think is fucking insane. What is the rule? What is it called? Safe neighborhood? Did I make that up?
Safety Act.
Safety Act.
Yeah.
Like, is that the most insane thing ever?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think they knew it was a failure before, but it was just, it's our liberal state. I mean, it's like the laws are working against us right now. I mean, for us cops, it's basically, we're guilty until proven innocent, and then everybody else is innocent until proven guilty. It's like we have got to justify everything we do, and everything's on camera. And I think they thought that when they first put body cameras on it, it was going to affect making more of us come out as bad cops. And I think they've seen that we really do things right, and now they're seeing that it's not us.
Right.
And it's basically with the Safety Act, if you're not a criminal offender, like to where you're jeopardizing the safety of somebody else, it's not an egregious enough offense, like something like a class 2, class 1, or class X felony, you're going to basically get a notice to appear and you're going to walk out of jail.
It's insane.
It is insane.
So I had Jay Scott on, which he sent me to the prison. Like that's what made me invite him, is back in the 90s, that was my prosecutor. Right. So when he accepted, I was like, oh, this is weird.
Sure.
Ended up being great. I was looking for, I was looking for something that I didn't deserve and I didn't get.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I kind of was just like, oh, this was a dude who was a young prosecutor who did his job.
Yeah.
Period. Just like I would do my job, And
so that's one thing that, I want to help educate. I want to be not only in the community myself, but I want to bring what we do at the Sheriff Department to the community. I want to have some kind of a stream of communication with the public.
Yeah.
And let them know either whether it's monthly or bi-weekly what we've done for you.
Well, and I think that's what has been missing is there's a total line in the middle.
Yeah.
And instead it's like, well, no, we are part of the community. Right. We're not against the community.
Yeah. What are we getting for our tax money?
Right.
And I want people to understand, and it's like, even if, I don't know if you've ever heard of Sheriff Grady down south.
Yeah.
Like he gets
yeah.
And he wears a gold chain around his neck, that he took off of a drug dope dealer.
Yeah.
I want to be more of the nature of like, obviously I want anybody that's got an addiction issue to get help, and I want them to get their life back in order.
Right.
It's the best thing for them. It's the best thing for their family. But when they're in that state of they can't get away from it, they're thieves.
Right.
They are out there robbing, they're stealing cars, stealing your mowers, stealing whatever.
Right.
I want a billboard in town and put their freaking pictures on it. Say, as much as I wish you would get help, until then, if these guys are in your neighborhood, there's a reason.
Right.
And it's not to come and have a pie or steal your pie out of your window. It's they're going to take your damn car.
Right.
Yes. And not only for their sake, I mean, not only for the victim's sake, but they're going to get shot someday.
Yes.
If they get out there,
you go to the wrong person's spot.
People are not going to keep putting up with this.
Go take my dad's shit. You'll fucking do it once.
I know. I mean, it's eventually you're going to push the hand too far.
Yeah.
And that's not what we want to see as cops. It's not what our community wants to see. It just to the point of, it sucks to see the same offender nonstop stealing people's stuff, and they keep getting out.
Yes.
And it makes it
so
almost makes people
obviously
look bad
they need to clean up, even if it's in there.
Yeah,
I mean, that's kind of one of the best places. One of the best things about it is, you're going to get sober.
Yep.
I mean,
it's all about who you surround yourself with when you get out.
Right.
It truthfully is.
Yeah.
It's just like all the addicts that I would see coming into the crossing CRC is I could tell, by how I seen them the next time in public, who they were hanging with, what they were doing, whether or not I was going to see them again. And it was sad because I'd see them at their healthy times and I'd see them at their struggling times.
It'd be tough.
It is. Yeah. Especially when you know them personally or something.
Yeah. Or at least you just hope for.
I'm a big proponent. Like several people that I know, and some of them that I've put in prison. I go to a lot of our morning breakfast stops.
Yeah.
And I go to the garden a lot. I go to Debbie's a lot.
Yeah.
And I'll buy them breakfast. I'll be like, looks like you can tell when a convict's fresh out and
Yeah.
they're eating that first meal. They're just sitting there like cherishing every moment of that meal.
Heck
And
yeah.
it's like, this is real food.
Yeah.
And it's like, I won't always tell them I'm buying it either. I just tell the waitress, I'm like, put theirs on mine, and unfortunately I've had the ripple effect where these guys end up right back in the pen.
Yeah.
But then I've got one guy, he works for Bedrick Roofing, and I bought his breakfast, and I remember seeing him at the landfill one day, and I had my stickers in my truck that say Shane Beck for sheriff.
Yeah.
And I just bought a house out of Hunter's Crossing, and I'm remodeling it, so I'm hauling a load out there to the landfill.
Uh-huh.
And I hear somebody scream, "What the hell's the sheriff doing in the damn landfill?" And I look over, I'm like, "Hey, what's up, dude?" And he goes, "Thanks for that breakfast the other day." And I was like, "Dude," I said, I could tell you just got out. And I said, I want things to work out for you. I said, "I know the guy you're working for." And I said, "He's a good dude."
That's good.
I said, "You give him right, you do him right, he'll do you right." And he's still working there. I see him all the time.
Right.
And so that day at the scale, I ended up giving him a shirt and a hat. And I see him wearing my stuff, and I'll see him, and we're fist bumping all the time. Every time we see each other in public, I'm not afraid to talk to anybody.
I think that's just so valuable.
Really just care. I don't care if you're a millionaire. I don't care if you live in a box. I mean,
right.
If you're willing to give me your time and be pleasant to me, I'm going to be pleasant to you.
Right. Let's talk.
Yeah. 100%.
Man, that's you're not what I expected.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I'm impressed. Just, you're a lot. Yeah. You're just a regular dude. That's not a slam. That's a compliment.
Yeah.
You're just a person, man.
And
you know it.
Yeah. I think of like a lot of things that I do in life. I always think like back when I was younger and done dumb stuff, my first response is what would my grandpa and grandma think of what happened to me today?
Right.
And even though they've been gone for a long time, I still think this day, what would they think of me?
Yeah.
And
they'd be damn proud.
Yeah. I try to make these decisions based on situations like that. I'm like, would they be happy with me doing this way?
Yeah.
Same thing in raising my children, same things in how I treat my wife. We get along great. She didn't have the greatest childhood. She was adopted at birth. And like I say, if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't be where I'm at in life. She's a great woman.
The puzzle
she keeps me straight.
fits together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd never do nothing to harm her.
Well, I think I don't know how you feel or how it's going to end up turning out, but man, I sure wish you the most luck for this. It's really cool. I mean,
it's been an experience. I can tell you.
I can't. But I just can't imagine. I can't imagine. I don't know. So I can't slam or shit talk Sheriff Root because I don't know him.
Yeah.
It's just I can't imagine him coming in here and wanting to talk.
Oh, I think he would. Yeah. And I'm not out to make people hate Root.
No, I know that. Obviously. I mean, I don't think you are either.
Like I go out and I try to talk to people, and I run into people that support Root 100%.
Well, and when you become sheriff, he's still going to be on the sheriff's department, right? I mean, he doesn't
till the end of that year. Yeah.
Oh, and then he doesn't still a sheriff? Like
he would be the sheriff until the end of that year.
No, but I mean, and then is he just like, does he go back to being a regular sheriff?
No, he'd retire.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, so he either wins or he's done.
Well, at the end of that year, he would retire most likely. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. That's part of going to the sheriff's side.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Oh, you're in it till you're not.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well.
Yeah. And like I say, I mean, there's been things that's happened to me that really make things personal about why I've done this. And I try to stay away more from that, to try to think more about what am I going to do to make the community better.
Yeah.
And, it all kind of comes into full together, because I care so much about people. I see what happened to other people too.
Yes.
And, the way I always talk to people is like, well, if it happened to them, it can happen to you.
Sure.
So I think that's what makes a lot of people make choices about leaving an environment, and the old saying of you don't leave a bad job, you leave a bad boss.
Right.
So I think that's where a lot of that comes into play.
Right.
But one thing I have learned about politics is that, talk is talk.
I was just going to say, the problem is nobody follows through.
You can put anything you want on a piece of paper. Our family is related to the Brittlingers that own Brittlinger
Yeah.
Funeral Home. They got a letter basically
Wait,
stating
Kirko? I know Kirko.
Kirko. Well, this is Dan and Edgar Brittlinger, and then
Okay.
Jamie Dewey. He's their Nedder's son.
Okay.
But anyway, they got a letter from my opponent and basically stating that I have no experience in running a sheriff's office, which I don't.
Right.
But I do know how to run a business, and I do know how to take care of people, and I know when something's not right, and I know when to put my efforts in to make it right.
Well, nobody knows how to run anything till they do it.
That's exactly correct. And when I ran my business, the only oversight I had was once a month, Mark coming back and going over them numbers with us.
Right.
I was responsible for everything that happened in that 30 days or 28 days or whatever month it was.
And when you went over those numbers, he wanted a solution on how it's going to get better.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's got oversight over his issues. He's got the county board. There's several accountants. He's got attorneys.
Yeah.
I didn't have that.
That's what I'm saying. From the jump, I was like, I don't know much about him, but treating this role as a business is exactly what should happen.
Yeah. And surround yourself with good people that can do the rest of the jobs.
Yes.
Yes. And make sure that that's getting instilled into their people below to make that weak link in the chain the strongest point in the chain.
Well, and people pay attention. You guys that work there now and the people who have left have paid attention.
Mm-hmm.
So the opportunity will present itself for you to either be what you said or not. And then that's when you'll make the young guys be better at their job because they're like, this guy isn't full of shit.
No.
And
that's why I tell
he didn't
everybody,
just want elected.
No, I'm not doing this just for me.
Yeah.
Because I could have easily just worked there 20 years and retired and done fine.
Yeah.
That was kind of my set plan when I first hired in.
Well, it's just in you to go. Changes have to happen. Somebody, anybody?
Yeah.
Fuck.
And that's what I was looking for. And then I ended up having to be the guy to step up and be the change.
That's
so
crazy,
I'm hoping someday I'm sitting here talking to you, explaining to you how my first 4 years went well.
Hell yeah.
That's my goal.
That's cool, dude.
And I think if I get in there, I think that I'll earn my second term. And my plan is to do 2 terms and be gone and let somebody else take over.
Yeah.
Pass the buck.
Hell yeah.
I don't want to be a
Don't wear it
sheriff.
out.
Nope.
Right.
Nope. I want to influence guys that treat people right and just let that be the cancer and keep going.
To know that you are not living in a fortress.
Right.
You're not living on an island.
Yeah,
You're in the community.
And
we eat.
If I do win, I know that in 4 years, somebody could take a shot at the title. That's perfectly normal.
Right.
It's what it's designed for.
Yes. Well, and I guess
I'm not doing my job and things aren't going well, somebody will definitely try to take my spot.
Well, and I get that's the part there where you go, okay, are they pointing out valid things that maybe I'm overlooking, and now let's adjust.
And that's why I need to surround myself with those good guys that are willing to put me in check.
Yep.
Keep my mind open to what I could be thinking differently, how I could think differently, and always make the right choices.
Man, you seem like a hell of a guy for any job. That job. But yeah, I mean, well, I think we're going to be lucky to have you be sheriff is how I feel about it.
And I hope it happens. I really do.
Yeah.
I look forward to it. And I look forward to being out there shaking people's hands and thanking them for electing me. I look forward to being a part of, I want to get ourselves involved in the schools more. I want to be out just get out there, Well, and you teach the kids young that we are not your enemies, not bad.
Man.
No.
Period. Yes, there's bad apples in every single trade.
And my wife has taught inner city school her whole life, and I mean, I have seen these kids. There is so many good kids in these schools. There's just a handful of little bad apples.
They just stick out.
And it's like they can turn the whole day around, but man, there's so many good kids.
Yeah.
I keep in touch with a couple, Gary Garner and a guy named Z, and they both have since went to the military, and we touch base a lot.
Yeah.
And they both wear my shirts. They took a picture with my truck in front of my flagpole in Forsyth. And I mean, you would not find a nicer set of kids.
Yeah.
These guys are they're the shit.
That's good.
And they send me messages from boot camp, and that's how I want it to be, man.
Right.
I want to be an influence on everybody I touch base with. I want them. It's like when I train people, it's like, I tell them all the time, like, if you just remember one thing that I taught you, then I did my job.
Right.
Or if one thing I taught you keeps you safe and keeps you coming home, I did my job.
Yeah.
And that's how I want everybody else to be when they train.
Well, and you're going to go 8 years, and then you're going back to the community to just live in it. So it would be nice to.
Yeah. And that's how I make my decisions every day. You know, that's why I told you before. It's like, I really think hard. You know, I mean, obviously I don't take all day to make my decisions,
Sure.
but I think hard about, okay, does this have to happen?
Right.
You know what I mean? I know what the other side of this is. I know what kind of, you build this, I've got so many friends that have built this stack of criminal charges.
Right.
I mean, you look at their record and it's like, oh my God.
Right.
Like, there's no help for this. I mean, who am I supposed to call to help you?
Right.
Nobody, it's like you've done this yourself.
Yes.
But, it's like these kids that you catch speeding at a young age. I was that kid.
Right.
I had them hot rods.
Hell yeah.
I was an auto body and my cousin was an auto mechanic. So if we could soup it up.
No one has a V8 and don't test it.
No. I had an IROC as a young man, Trans Am. So, I mean, I know where they're coming from. It's like I had a kid in Walmart parking lot just the other day out east. So they kind of
That's a popular spot.
It's a popular spot for young kids.
Yeah.
Well, this little dude comes through in a little BMW, and I mean, he's getting her on,
roasting it up.
He pulls in a parking spot after he sees me, so I pull up right next to him, roll my window, and I'm like, dude, I said, you know what you did? He goes, yes, sir. And I said, okay. I said, I did the same shit when I was a kid.
Stop.
I said, here's the deal, man. I said, there's old people out here. I said, there's young kids that could be running from their parents. I said, it's something you'd never, ever want to happen. I said, but it could happen.
Change your whole life if something goes bad.
I said, so just think about your surroundings. I said, there's times and places, and this ain't the time or this ain't the place.
Yeah. Or at least see my fucking car and honor the game, bro.
Yeah. At least don't disrespect, But dude, that experience with him, that maybe that's changing.
For sure. No,
maybe
not
maybe.
maybe.
From getting a ticket.
Yeah. Which there's the dicks who would go, oh no. They think cops are pushovers. Bullshit.
No.
He might have went and played it off like he was untouchable to his friends, but inside he was going, "Oh my God, I would have got my car took."
Saw that contact,
right?
So it's like,
yeah. They're
gonna ask him.
Yeah,
it's like, man, that dude just helped me out.
He was cool.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah,
being kind is
it's
diminishing.
It's our choice too, though.
It's a choice.
Yeah.
There's
a time and place you can't be, but when you can, it sure feels good to do it.
Yeah. And it's rewarding most of the time.
Yeah.
It
sure is.
Well, you definitely got your work cut out for you.
Oh yeah. Yeah. It's going to be a challenge.
Yeah.
But I've endured a lot of challenges in my life.
Yeah. I mean, just sitting here talking to you, I can't imagine you not winning, to be honest. And, if anybody that's watching this is on the fence at all, hopefully you're not anymore. We got to live here.
Yeah.
Right? And there's a lot of people who I think the community is so bad that we need the National Guard cops, or we need, but that's not being.
Yeah, I think that whole deal up there, I think if, it comes down to like the Safety Act too.
Yeah.
It's like if they would let police be police, we wouldn't need the National Guard.
Fair.
The only reason the National Guard's up there is because they're boycotting what they're doing with the ICE agents.
Yeah.
And they're not willing to have their backs while they're doing their job.
Right.
And I think that's bullshit.
Yeah.
I don't like it. Those guys, they've got a family at home. They're doing what should have never happened. They shouldn't have been here in the first place.
Right.
I'm all for everybody coming over the border, but coming the right way to where we can accommodate for their needs.
Yep.
Not delinquent an area,
right.
And whether it's the nursing, hospitalization, the food pantries, but it's just
somehow that got twisted into being like, oh, you're people are racist. And it's like, no, it's a country with.
Well, look how Chicago acted.
Your social security number makes you have to pay money.
Yeah, the Chicago people was pissed when they started losing things that they were accustomed to because of the migrants up there.
Right.
They were losing after school programs. They were losing facilities where their kids used to be able to go
now they're
until
loaded.
They got off work.
Right.
Now they're loaded with these migrants.
Yeah.
And like I say, I hope every one of them gets their life together and has a way to come back legally.
Yeah.
That would be the ideal thing to happen. And we are a wonderful world here.
Right.
There's a bunch of reasons you'd want to be here.
Right.
But there's also those bad apples that come over they're here to terrorize, and that's where you see Trump. He might make a bad classification sometimes, but it's there.
Yeah. No,
we know
right.
that it's
you're
there.
Right.
It's hard to pick them out, so how do you decipher which one it is without just making a blanket boom, you're all going?
it's necessary.
It is.
I mean, yeah, it never should have happened to get there, but
That's right.
yeah, now, okay.
Yeah.
Well,
I agree. And I hope they all stay alive and stay safe. And
yeah.
I truly hope our
Again, you
National
can't
Guard-
imagine how shitty your life had to be to come be crammed up in some shithole here, happy.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
still got to.
And then you got them working for pennies on the dollar.
Yep.
You know, they're basically the new slaves.
Yep.
You know, it's exactly what it's turned into.
It's exactly what it is.
They're getting taken advantage of. And
they don't know it.
No.
They don't know any better.
Because it's better than where they were.
The land of opportunity, man.
Yeah, it's better than where they were.
For sure.
Not knowing if they can walk out their door and live tomorrow.
Yes.
So,
yeah.
I mean.
So it's got to,
yeah.
So there is that. I mean, because there's the other side that goes, I mean, damn, if you pulled up, somehow made it here with your 3 kids on foot.
Yeah.
I mean, you love them kids, but you guys got to go, man.
Yeah.
You got to figure this out the right way. It sucks. I mean, it's a whole hairy situation.
It is. And it seems immoral at times, but it has to happen to make it right.
Yes.
I think.
Yes.
And,
again, we are a business too.
Yeah.
I mean, the country is a company.
I mean, all you gotta
hugely
do is
in debt.
All you got to do is go to the grocery store or the gas station and you see why it needs to be done.
Yeah.
We can't pay for everything.
Right.
You know, and
no, you're right.
That's part of it.
Yeah.
But part of what I want to get out there too is I am having a fundraiser at KFC Hall.
Okay.
October 25th. I'm gonna do. I'm selling tickets for $100 a ticket.
Okay.
Chance to win 5,000, 2 free dinners.
Oh shoot.
Then I'm gonna have a couple gun raffles there in a 50-50. So
it's when?
October 25th at the KFC Hall.
Where do you get tickets?
You can go to my Facebook page. I'll hand deliver them to you, or you can buy them at the door.
Okay.
So,
what's that? A Saturday?
It's a Saturday. Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
I want a couple tickets.
Yep. I've got them with me.
All right.
Yep.
Well, I'd like to do that. Yeah, I'd like to support you any way I can. Not that it's that big of a, not that I'm doing much to do it, but
every dollar anybody helps me with is one less that I got to pull out of my pocket.
Fair.
And it's
I really dig the you not putting yourself on a higher platform than me and anyone.
Yeah.
That's huge.
And I hope that I never do. That's
I don't
not
think
my
you
goal.
will.
No.
Yeah, I don't think you will.
No.
It's easy to do because you are about to take on a lot more responsibility.
Sure. But
you can lead without being
I have the right guys to keep me there, keep me in check.
Yep.
And
strong team.
Help me make it.
Yeah. I think you will.
I think so too.
Well, dude, I really appreciate you coming and talking to me. This has been cool. Yeah, this has been really neat.
Yeah.
Well, you guys heard them. If you don't vote, go ahead and get your shit in order to be able to vote because it does matter. Even if you don't think the Trump or Biden thing was related to you, this shit here is definitely related to you if you're here. So get out there. I think, he said in March you can start voting, and let's lock this guy in, dude. I like it.
March 7th is early voting. March 17th is the vote.
Got plenty of time to get your voter registration stuff lined up and all that.
And you can do that down at the county building or you can do it at the DMV.
Love it.
Yep.
All right. Well, thank you all for joining us on this episode of Beyond Business. This has been a good one. And you guys share this one with people in the community and let them hear this guy speak for himself, man. If you guys aren't impressed by this going to be our next sheriff, then I don't know what the hell you're paying attention to, honestly. But yeah, I wish you the best of luck in this and everything moving forward. And it was really a pleasure to get to meet you and talk to you, man.
I appreciate it. Yeah. And I'd also ask anybody that if they have any questions and they see me in public, feel free to come and
let's go.
Jerk my chain. I'm ready.
Yeah. Let's go. Yeah. I love it. I love it.
Man.
No one knows the questions till they're asked,
That's
right?
That's right.
Well, thanks. Hey, we'll catch you in 5 days. Until then, be kind to each other. It's easy. See ya. Hey, thanks again for joining me for this episode. And before you sign off, here's a quick word from the companies who make it all possible. Aerial Elite Solutions. When it comes to drone technology, no one does it better. From solar inspections to construction monitoring to live event coverage and real estate showcasing, AES brings the sky to your side with unmatched quality, precision, and speed. Reach out to flyaes.com to elevate your business today. Midwest Lightning Rods. For over 9 decades, they've been protecting homes, farms, and businesses from one of nature's most destructive forces. When lightning strikes, they make sure you're covered the right way and the safe way. Contact MLR today at lightningstrikes-weprotect.com to see how you can become part of the community protected by MLR. Support local and trust the best. Aerial Elite Solutions, Midwest Lightning Rods. Excellence from the ground to the sky. Thank you again. Hope you had enjoyed episode 78. And we'll catch you on the next one in 5 days. Be kind to each other.
Welcome to Beyond Business, where stories come alive. With guests from every corner, we're ready to dive. New episode every 5 days, new voices to share. Laughs and insights, we're all in this affair. Beyond Business, come take a seat. Join the conversation, it's a journey that's sweet. Life lessons learned.